Hey guys, MrPokke here, back with another video, and today we are gonna be reacting to a nuclear reaction for the Prydwen's 2.1 tier list, featuring Gacha Smack as well as a lot of very excellent content creators of Honkai Starbucks that we have from left to right. Box 2, Destiny, Emi Macha, Io, Rihu, as well as the one and only Rogue Killer.
Hello, YouTube.
Self-plug.
Hello, YouTube.
Yeah.
Hello, YouTube.
Hi, YouTube.
Hello.
I don't need
got 5 seconds to subscribe.
They know me.
All right.
It's all
Well,
good.
I guess since he doesn't want to do anything, hey Pokke, quick question: How do you do the pop up thing? I want that.
Editor already got to cut stuff out.
Yep.
Crazy.
Thank you, Io. Actually,
My bad, editor.
Editor, leave that fine.
Or editor.
Welcome back to another video by yours truly, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be reacting to the updated 2.1 tier list after Acheron's release.
Okay, I do want to point out at this point, it has been 1 minute, and where the fuck is the tier list? So like a little bit too much yapping, if I can say so myself. Genuinely. Holy story, man, reminds me of EO. Okay, but anyways, yeah.
That's
Crazy. You know what?
Oh my god.
Honestly, it's because we're black, bro. It is what it is.
Oh,
he's playing the race card?
Oh,
Shit.
Okay, I'm gonna cancel. I'm gonna cancel. I'm gonna cancel. I'm gonna cancel. Yeah, I'm gonna cancel.
On this tier list, I'm expecting to see preservation units move up in value because of Acheron's release. Acheron affected a lot of characters' value. I'm expecting preservation units to be moved up. If Welt is still in the B tier, I'm going to personally get in contact with Welt and tell him to send a gravitational disintegration bomb to obliterate Prydwen and just completely disregard everything I said about keeping the peace. All right, nah, we're not doing that. That said, we'll react to that. We'll also talk about pure fiction, and then that'll wrap it up. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Wait, he's rapping both MOC and pure fiction in 18 minutes. That's kind of impressive.
He's pretty good.
Maybe he just like talks about it really quickly for pure fiction.
Little disclaimer before we jump straight into it. I just want to make sure that they're not being misrepresented. This is important context to how they evaluate their tier list. I did go over it in my previous tier list video. We're not going to go over it again. You can pause this, take a look at it, read through it so that you understand and have a better comprehension.
Ain't nobody reading all that about the tier list. The moment they see the tier list, is like, oh wow, S plus, A, B, C. That's it. Nobody's reading all that. So yeah, it doesn't really matter.
You don't want to read? That's crazy. I feel like that's a valuable thing to do as a content creator, especially one in the Hoyo space. You know
what's funny about
you
that?
know what?
Whenever I do the tier list stuff, I literally read it for them because I know they're not going to read it. So I'm like, I'll read it for you. I got you.
You're better than me. I'm not.
I read the whole thing. I read the whole thing.
Yo,
So
Destiny,
crazy.
let's just be honest. You just want to stall for the 8 minute, right? Yeah, let's just be honest. You know?
Oh my god.
Yeah. All right.
I don't think anybody want to hear all that yapping for real.
Yeah, facts.
Holy,
Damn.
oh my God, rogue killer preaching to us about yapping, insane.
That's what I'm saying, right?
Y'all don't. Hey.
Oh my gosh. My bad. No more yap.
We'll never do it again.
As to how they go about evaluating particular characters. One good example is sustain. It's based off of characters who are capable of keeping the team alive with their abilities. That is important because I'd say Gallagher's a good example. Gallagher does more than just keep the team alive. He increases break effect performance, he breaks shields, he can even do a little bit of damage. But based off of this, they're only evaluating his ability to keep the team alive. That's something that could be confusing. And you'll be like, why the hell is Gallagher somewhere? Because that's one of the things I disagree with immediately. But Prydwen doesn't evaluate sustainers based off of what they're doing outside of sustaining. So that's just one little example. But with that said, let's go ahead and get into it. I see they're still adamant about not moving up Scooby-Doo to the value of Xuan. Again, I could not disagree more here because there are simply teams where Scooby-Doo is going to perform better than Xuan. But that's why I brought up that sustain scenario. It's not even an argument that Scooby-Doo can't sustain better than Xuan. Then again, that auto cleanse against characters like Kafka is wild, but Xuan's tankiness is just so impenetrable. You can make the argument that she's still a tier above Scooby-Doo in terms of sustaining. I mean, it really is a toss-up because Scooby-Doo's heals are actually just as broken as Luocha's. They really are. If you know what you're doing with her, she just heals a lot. So I can get this placement, but in terms of taking away and saying fuck Prydwen's sustain evaluation, just in terms of sustainer outside of sustaining, Scooby-Doo is absolutely better than Xuan. She's better than Xuan for Kafka, Black Swan, Jingliu, Imbibitor, Lunae, and Dr. Ratio. All of those units. That's a lot of meta units that you're going to use one sustainer over the other to get more performance out of them.
Before you talk about Luocha, all right, let's get our thoughts for the Huan or Scooby-Doo or Ho for it. All right, guys. Yeah, go for it, guys. Let me get the title real quick. Yeah, go for it.
He needs to be S+. Like, I don't know, because if what Gacha Smack is saying, what Prydwen has on their website, which is solely for keeping them alive, which I really think they should factor in all the other stuff that they do, because that's what it's going to be at this point, with us having Xuan that gives crit rate and CC prevention, Ho giving energy and attack, Aventurine giving the crit damage stuff and all that. There's like, these sustains are doing a lot more than just keeping you alive. So I think we really need to take that into account.
I think they do. I just don't think they say it on the site, right? Because like they're not filling that out. If we look at it, Xuan being the sustainer, that's not the only thing she does, and that's definitely not the reason that we've all considered Xuan as one of the best sustain characters in the game, if not the best. It's because she does everything else. So she's up there in S+ for all those unspoken reasons, and it is like you and Smack at this point are definitely valid to say this. Ho-Oh needs to be an S+ as well, because not only does she sustain moderately the same, if not better, in a lot of different scenarios, but she has that cleanse. I think that cleanse is one of the biggest things in the game that people just acknowledge that it's really good, but we don't talk about how good it is. The fact that, just like you mentioned with Kafka shoots you up, right? She jumps you up 100% when she takes control of your character. That's a free turn. And then you have Ho-Oh, who just immediately cleanses you. You're no longer dominated. So Kafka just basically Bronya you to the top free. There's a lot of situations that do happen like that because of Ho-Oh. So I would 100% allow that argument, or I would join that argument that she should be an S+. I don't know, maybe sustain, like that category just needs to get opened up more to look at this as a character versus they only sustain, because now they're no longer sustaining, right? Ho-Oh is an amplifier and a sustainer. Xuan is a specialist and a sustainer, or I guess an amplifier as well, right? Like they're both. Luocha is just a sustainer. Lynx is a sustainer and technically a specialist. Bailu is just a sustainer. Gallagher is technically, yeah, he's a specialist and a sustain. So you have a lot of that goes into there.
Beautiful.
I agree.
For-
Yeah. What do you
I'm gonna say I agree too.
3 hour
Yeah,
video,
I think-
2.5
hours is gonna be EO yapping about the same.
Oh my God.
Yo, I want to make a nuclear take. I want to make a nuclear nuclear radioactive take. I know we're talking about Ho-Oh, but like, if we're doing E6 Gallagher, I think he needs to be where Luocha is, and Luocha needs to be bumped down, bro. I'm not gonna.
Yes.
Bro, I don't
I
think
agree.
Luocha is better than Bailu, bro. I'll be honest with you.
I disagree with that take, but
I-
we're not on the Luocha yet.
Okay.
We're almost there.
Before we go, I just wanna clean up a little bit. Personally, I don't like there to be more than one S+. Like if I were to do my tier list, my village tier list, there can only be one OP. Between these 3 DPS, there's no world I'll recommend Dio and Jingliu to be the same tier as Acheron. Just like how I wouldn't recommend Sparkle in the same tier as Rame. I guess in terms of sustaining, I would say that Xuan helps a lot of like new players get their sustain out of the way. Because if you're just talking about sustain, because like, a lot of times if you want to play Memory of Chaos, you don't really die from like not enough damage. Most of the time, if people lose, it's because they just die. And Xuan does fulfill this purpose better than Huan. Even though I really like Huan, but I don't think she is as valuable to like a player that just wants to clear the stage. So if there can only be one, I think this is fine.
By
I
that
think,
statement, do you think that adding something above S+ is more appropriate?
Nope.
Or bumping everyone down?
Nope, we're just gonna keep it the same tier. So the only thing I change is just change it to OP and then SABC. That's exactly how I did my own tier list. So there can only be one OP and everyone else just gets kind of lumped up. Although there's a little bit of segregation here and there to kind of like differentiate.
Well, yeah, you'd have to bump them down though, right?
Yeah, I'll bump them down. I don't like to bump everyone up. Yeah. Okay, let's move on.
Isn't broken.
Oh no, I didn't talk about Scooby-Doo.
It's not me this time.
Nuclear drama.
Yes.
Oh.
Pokke did the same thing as EO.
Pokke's misogynistic. Let's go.
Oh no. I was gonna say that I think she should also be an S+ for the additional reason that everyone said, but also that she's able to give like energy that can potentially make like a new rotation with some of your characters on like them getting their ults sooner. Like it could just be cool for some rotation shenanigans at times, depending on what's going on.
I agree.
Okay, you can go on now.
No, I mean, Macho, do you have anything to say?
I
What?
agree with Box.
Wait, what did I say? I don't even know what I said myself, man.
You said,
You said you agree.
So I agree with your agree.
Oh, yeah, I agreed with EO, so
Yes, we all agree.
we all agree.
Yeah.
Yo, Road, are you good? Do you agree?
I agree.
Insane. Deep sexy
Yo,
nipple.
let's
That's
go.
exactly
No,
what
no,
they
no.
are.
But for real though, like
nuclear reaction.
I agree with everybody on how they're saying like she should be an S plus, but I feel like Prydwen had like a take on like say if they wanted to do something in Golden Gears, like a bigger conundrum level, maybe Sushang will be just better for that.
Overhyped or anything. He's like properly rated there. His sustain is just spectacular. Anyways, this is wild to me. Go back to that sustain mention. It makes sense that they're saying that she heals better than Gallagher, but I even disagree with that. Gallagher pretty much is Luocha when he pops his ult. He heals your whole team when you attack the besotted state person that you've inflicted it on. He quite literally heals your whole team, and it lasts for some turns. Whereas Lynx, she's so dependent on keeping your team alive with just her ult that outside of her ult, her skill only hits one person, and it's just kind of booty. So I have my free to play account now, so I have a little bit more knowledge
coming out
with
of him.
her actual performance. And let me tell you, Lynx is a B tier healer. She is. In fact, she's nowhere near Bailu's capability of keeping the team alive.
Thank
you just
you.
have
Okay,
that
but
team-wide
I
cleanse,
agree
which
with
does
this.
contribute to survivability and sustaining. But the heals on Lynx aren't the best. They really aren't.
Genuinely.
I think
pause it real
Gallagher
quick?
should be A tier. Again, disregarding their sustain evaluation, Gallagher should be A tier bare minimum, just because not only can he do what Luocha does on a not as potent of a level, but he's also going to open up the potential for break effect comps in the future and down the road and in the real time to do much better, especially on a free to play level. So I think he should be A tier. These two should have moved up tiers in my personal opinion. March still being in the C tier with Acheron releasing is crazy. Gepard not being in the A tier with Acheron releasing is crazy. They're better than Lynx. They're better than Natasha. They're better than Bailu for Acheron. And yes, when a character releases,
What is this thingy? They are better than
It says
Luocha
that-
and Scooby-Doo for Acheron and debatably Fusion.
it does affect the entirety of placement of characters on a tier list, which is one of the things I want to talk to you about with Prydwen. If you're watching this video, I know you guys watch my stuff a lot. You can maybe you can incorporate in like a little image inside of these squares of a character that makes that character perform better, and then put them in another tier list, like move them up. So case in point, Gepard is in the A tier, but then you'd have a little picture of Acheron right here with maybe a symbol that explains that. You take Acheron away, it goes back down to the B tier type of ordeal. I don't think evaluating character sustains off of just keeping the team alive. I don't think that's a good metric or a good consensus to go about the tier list, because I literally don't recommend pulling sustains unless they do more than sustain. And it's kind of hard for me to like give good evaluations of characters that are sustainers when they can do more than sustain. Hopefully that makes sense. It's just my feedback. But I think March should go up to B tier and Gepard should go up to A tier thanks to Acheron's mere presence. Coming up here,
What are you seeing in March with
I told y'all
Acheron?
this-
What is that?
Let's pause.
think,
her
that.
taunt. It's her self-taunt for trying to universal market.
She also freezes with her ult, which if you freeze them, that counts as a stack because that's a debuff. I don't know if y'all care about the March ult, but yeah, no, March can do some stuff. I
she's
fully agree with him
good.
though. I
Yeah,
think
I agree with him here
adding-
too.
Hey, can we agree? Not gonna lie. I just think this should be said. Do you think Luocha's dead in the water if you haven't already pulled him? Like, do you
Yes.
think that you should
No.
just go ahead and pull adventure?
There's no reason anybody should be
There's-
pulling
yep.
Luocha.
Nope. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Zero
I
pull
agree
value.
with that.
Genuinely. Yeah, nobody should be pulling Luocha in this day. and
I don't
age.
think you should be pulling him, but I don't think he's irrelevant.
No,
if
it's
you
completely-
have
Well,
it,
yeah,
good.
If you already have them,
Yeah.
that's a little different. Yeah, like if you have the character, it's a little different. But
Yeah.
like a lot of the newer characters that started for the after PlayStation or like during the PlayStation update, then they don't
Yeah.
have a lot of these, right? They don't have Xuan, they don't have Ho-Oh, they don't have Luocha.
Yeah.
They have Lynx for free, and then they could have either lost a 50-50 for Bailu or Gepard, and then they should have gotten Gallagher by now. They have sustains that just do what Luocha does, but better. And then that's something that we're talking about earlier, and then Smack mentioned it too. Gallagher heals just as good, if not better, than Luocha in the same type of team comps, and then he still does more.
I think honestly, they definitely should add that icon thing he mentioned, like Gepard and A, if Acheron team. I think that would actually help with hearing them a little more evenly, because at the end of the day, it is a team game. So them going up a hypothetical tier for a certain character, I think is a fully valid thing to
Nah,
add on.
I don't think they
I
should
think
do
that's
that.
No,
yeah, I don't think
Because I
so
feel like they do
either.
that, it opens up the whole door. It's like, what about this?
Exactly.
What about that? What about this? And it's
Yeah.
just super,
Exactly.
super confusing.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Okay, that's fair. That's totally fair. I can understand that.
I think
everyone would
what-
have an icon then.
Yeah, I think is what Gacha Smack, it brings a good idea, but I think having like a utility sustainer category might be something that he might want better than just doing the little icons, because icons is confusing. But like we said here, like sustains nowadays, they're not just here to sustain and keep you alive. It's like now these guys are starting to debuff, they're starting to give energy, they're starting to give crit values.
Yeah.
I think that should be a separate category, because if we're just based off of solely just like sustain, like Luocha sustains like crazy. Like he should be as Lynx actually needs to be bumped down, Gallagher needs to be bumped up, Bailu needs to be bumped up for sure. You know, those preservation needs to be bumped up. Natasha, I'm sorry, she's irrelevant. I'm sorry, the Natasha lovers. But you know what I mean? Like if we're just basing it off just survivability, then yeah, this is not good enough. I think at this point in this game. So just good ideas though, yeah.
I would say that March 7th, I don't think she's that good because her ultimate, the freeze, it kind of counteracts why you would want to run trend, because you want enemies to hit you, but if the enemies are frozen, they can't even hit you. So it's a little bit annoying. Even though freeze is counter debuff, but like because the entire team's not frozen, it's a little bit annoying. Gepard is not so much because like it's only from the skill and you can just like basically attack and he will still be fine. Overall, for this entire tier list, I would definitely bump down Lynx. She just doesn't do enough. And swap it with Gallagher. And sometimes you could even argue that Gallagher might just do the similar thing with Luocha, because Luocha gives you free heals and a lot of them, but Gallagher gives you like a little bit more debuffs and a lot of heals, which is also free heals when you cast ultimate. And this thingy, it is tied to the enemy speed. So if the enemy speed is not as super fast, as long as the debuff lasts, you can kind of kill by quite a bit. There might even be situations that E6 Gallagher can compare to Luocha. Not saying Luocha is SA. Okay, personally, I think this guy should not be in SA. I think Luocha needs to go down compared to.
Thank you. How come when I said this shit in the last podcast, y'all were calling me the worst guy in the world?
I wasn't there. Genuinely, it's the race. It's the race. Yeah, you're smart Asian. Genuinely.
Damn.
Your redemption arc.
I still believe if we're gonna be doing this in the fact that all of what encompasses a character's kit, Ho should still be S plus. Like I can't see her being an S. She just
because now you guys are considering the utility of it, and that's where you start putting them up. Right?
Yeah.
But I think that's what we should do. Like
I think so too. I think so too. But like Prydwen has it just like this, right? Which is what he's trying to say. Like this is flawed already.
For me,
no offense, Prydwen.
If they can only have one S plus, I will still put it as fusion. If there can only be one, then I'll put Xuan here. Then I'll drop Luocha here. I'll swap Lynx with Gallagher. Bailu Gepard can be here. I think Lynx can be on the same base, just she does have the AoE cleanse. Then March and Dasha stays here. So it's swap this two and then drop down Luocha.
I could agree with that.
Yeah, I think Gallagher should be like minimum A in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
Like A for Gallagher. Just like
I don't
A
think
for
Prydwen
Austin.
actually looked into Gallagher as much as they should have, or rather they could have, because it is something that's a lot different, right? Like with the whole team thing that I always mention, but ultimately like Acheron just has a lot of options that maybe it was just too early, maybe they weren't looked at, I don't know. But Acheron and Gallagher are like really good together. Like that's one of her favorite sustains to work with, and I think because of what he brings to the table for her, it opens up the door for you to be able to play around that, just like how you play the team and what you can and can't do for 0 cycles, 1 cycles, whatever the case may be. So like him and her existing in the game alone, he's A tier. And then everybody else just been like Gallagher and DOT teams. Oh my goodness!
Oh my god,
that's really good. Yeah, it's super good.
Really
For him.
good.
I know he's gonna bump up because we're moving into like new phases of the game. We have DOT, we have whatever Acheron wants to call it, Nihili, I don't know. May gives break, and then so many other things, right? Like we're just constantly shifting things. He's gonna bump up. I can't imagine Hoyo putting something in the game in version 2.0 of all things, and then it not having a purpose in the next coming patch or two.
100% agree, bro.
Box to say something very petty.
I literally do not know the meta at all. I can't give any input, man.
Beautiful,
I played
beautiful.
it.
How often do you play the game?
Dude, no, I just slap whoever I like into team, and I'm like, damn, okay, they're cool. I'll use it.
Oh, so you're
Yeah,
Genshin.
I got nothing.
Same mindset.
I'll just keep on agreeing.
Yeah,
All right.
you're playing Genshin turn-based edition. I respect it.
He has DPS Gepard, man. The man's
Yo, I
beast.
just like cool
Oh
characters.
my god.
I just use cool characters, bro. I don't know like the analytics and all that.
All right. Let's see the next session then.
Thanks to Acheron's mere presence. All right, coming up here, Ron May's value is just higher than every other amplifier in the game. I think this is another thing I think you guys should do. You should consider a god roll on each
Pretty much the OP tier.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Specialist,
100%.
there hasn't been one yet. There's not a god roll specialist. There's not a god roll sustainer either, but there is a god roll amplifier and there is now a god roll damage dealer. I think
pretty much.
Ron May
I
should
can
be up
agree.
here in a realm of her own. And I think this S plus tier should be held by her and Tingyun. That's my opinion. That's a hot take, but I'm telling you, Tingyun's value is just insane. That's my personal opinion on the Tingyun thing. I'm not going to fight people about it. From where I stand, Tingyun is better than Bronya. She's more universal than Bronya, and some teams like just need her like desperately. That's Imbibitor Lunae. He needs the Tingyun. You can use Bronya or Tingyun on a Jingliu composition, but Dr. Ratio's best in slot definitely has a Tingyun on that team as well. Jingliu has a Tingyun on his team as well. So yeah, I mean, you can make the argument that Sela, but she can use it either or. I think these two, Tingyun and her, should be an S plus tier. Bronya mains are going to fight me on Bronya not being in there too, but sure, put those three in the S plus tier, and there's no way on God's green fucking earth that Pela isn't in the S tier after Acheron's release. This is nasty work, Pride. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? She's literally best in slot for Acheron. I already thought she should be in the S tier prior to Acheron, but now that she's in here and you stealed it and move her up, like, bro, what do you have against like nerdy girls? What's going on here, big guy? Huh?
Oh my god.
One of y'all get it together. There's no way you still think Pela's in the A tier. Okay, we got Pela and Silverwolf S tier. We got Tingyun, Bronya, and Sparkle. Nah, see, now I'm in the problem. Now I'm battling myself here. Because Tingyun and Bronya aren't as valuable as Sparkle either. So you can keep them three down here with a Pela in there as well. And then Sparkle is in the S plus tier by herself. And then Ron May's in the God tier by herself. I think that's literally the best way to go about it. Ron May God tier, Sparkle S plus tier, and then Bronya, Silverwolf, Tingyun, Pela all in the same tier. That's how I would go about it. Now, I'll be honest, I think Silverwolf is dog shit at E0, but y'all are so adamant on thinking thinking Silverwolf belongs in the S and Pela doesn't. It really makes me fucking cringe. It does. But you know, that's all we're going to spend on it. I don't know what I've said about Asta in the past being in the B tier. I think I might have said something about, it's not that Asta's not good, but it's just that the other alternatives are so much better, which is true. On a sustainless comp though, Asta's performance as an amplifier for the dot comp is literally meta. If you don't believe me, go and watch my dot run where I zero cycle with Asta, Ron May, Kafka, Black Swan. And it's not just, she doesn't just provide value to them too. She's good with Jingliu as well. Don't sleep on her for Jingliu. He goes 3 times with her. But Asta, her value and the ability to make these two go 3 times due to her ridiculous speed enhancement on top of DDD, she's an A tier. And that's why I was trying to tell you there should be a God roll, because then it would make much more sense. Ron May up here on her own, nobody provides value. Sparkle, then you got those 4 with Pela up there. And then you have Asta in the A tier by her lonesome, because she really is an A tier buffer. Not to mention she's completely fucking free to play. I think that should play a little bit of a role in terms of a value of a character as well. This should be, her and Hanya should both be in the same tier, B tier. And then that's my only disagreement there.
All right, let's cook, guys.
A for Asta. That made me so happy. She's finally getting justice. That's all I have to say.
Like, all you have to say about the whole thing?
Crazy.
No, okay.
Yo, you're getting triggered over Destiny's comments? Is that misogyny?
It was like, oh, you let Destiny talk. And it's like, because that's what she does.
Insane.
Literally, like, A for Asta. Pela, I can agree with an S, especially now that Acheron's out. I feel like Pela's just a really, really good 4-star. And in my opinion, arguably one of the best 4-stars. I don't know if that's a hot take. I can agree with the God tier thing, though, personally. I think that can be fine. Like, having only one character there to differentiate, I think that's okay.
Me personally, I've always already said it. As soon as Ruan May came out, she needs her own tier because no one compares. She just changes this game for everything that it has when she's on the team. So yeah, she definitely needs to have her own tier. Realistically, I would have thrown down Silverwolf before Acheron, but now that Acheron's out, and now that we're seeing units that are dealing with debuffs and stuff like that, we have no idea what's going to happen in the future. But the fact that Acheron's able to use Silverwolf now, I think we can keep her in S, which I wanted her to get booted down to A, to be honest, but she can stay in S. And then Pela needs to get thrown up to A. I mean, to S. Because I think she has too many uses now. I think she's part of too many teams, and she has so many applications to be used that she's being used as much as Bronya at this point. Like, she's getting put on every effing team. So she definitely needs to be put in S. Silverwolf kind of hurts me because I want to still put her in A because she's not better than Pela. But when I'm thinking about Silverwolf and how I always say that, like, other players that are not like Omega whales that don't have the weakness, I always put that in forward. So I don't know. We might keep them both at S.
The only thing I'm going to say is I do agree with majority of what Gacha Smack says.
Bad take.
You want to go? You want to fight? You first. Okay, you first.
Box
Women first. Go Box.
What the fuck? Wait. Who are we even talking about? Asta?
You said Gacha Smack
in general.
You said Gacha Smack has bad takes. Go for it.
I don't even know what he said, bro. I just want to hate on Emmy, bro. I'll be honest, man.
That's crazy.
I will say, I mean, I don't agree with Asa being an A, bro. Like she does no damage, man.
That's crazy.
True.
I don't think you're playing
Use it for
Asta, right?
DPS,
DPS
They do
Asta
damage as well. Yeah, let's drop
Wait,
it.
wait,
Whoa, whoa,
DPS
whoa,
Asta
whoa, whoa,
actually
whoa.
exists
DPS
though.
Asta.
Ruan doesn't
only
have a
time-
damaging ult, put her in C, bro.
No, like the
We're-
only time I think
we are-
Asa is good is when there's like one enemy, so that her E can go on like one and it can break it faster. But that's it.
There's a
You know what
nuclear
I'm
hot take, but okay.
Fine, it's
Yo,
fine,
Fox is
you
gonna
know.
get canceled after
You'll
this.
see that I'm right in a few.
All right.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
believe.
yeah,
I
yeah.
believe.
But yeah, I think for the most part, yeah, I do agree with Gacha just having another tier. So like what Pokke does with having just one S unit, like S plus unit, I think that would be fair. I already forgot what he said, I'll be honest. But I think Pela should be moved up as well. I think Pela should be moved up. That I don't understand why she's still there. I think I remember reviewing this and I was confused as well. But I mean, you know, especially with Acheron being released, I think I agree with that take as well. And then Asta, I agree as well. I think Asta has a lot of value, especially with the dual dot comps. Whether she's A though, I mean, she's a high B plus. Can I put her in the middle? But I don't know if she's going to be an A right now with Acheron and everybody else. Because realistically, I don't know like how many people would reach for Asta over like everybody else that they have up there, like Ron May. Like, you know what I mean? I don't really see her being grabbed as much, but with dual dots, like I do see that value. It's just everyone else, I don't know. So I'm gonna put her I'll keep her at a B plus. Okay, I don't think she's bad. I just think she's like not as good as he thinks.
I'm gonna cry.
For now, just but I know I love her. Like, don't get me wrong, I use Asta, right? I'm just saying, like, as for the release of Acheron, right? If we're just looking at based off of this, I think she dropped because dots aren't as like meta. But you know, I'm not a meta gamer, so I don't know. Okay, I'm just gonna sit here and be like, yeah, I agree, yes.
Nah, you're definitely entitled to genuinely. Like if EO can say like Scylla needs to be ran as a dual DPS because you can clear mobs faster, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
That's
my
wild.
I love how we keep bringing this up, bro.
It's so
funny.
that take was left at the back of the fridge for 3 months. That's the take.
Bro,
Oh my
I'm gonna be
god.
attacked for the rest of my content career life.
All right, yo, let's hear it. Let's go.
All right. May goes in OP tier. I'm cool with that. Sparkle can stay in S plus tier. I'm cool with that. I don't like having a bunch of characters in S tier either.
Yep.
Because
I agree.
they just don't belong there. So Bronya and Tingyun being in S tier, I'm not gonna argue that. Like that's just it is what it is. I don't want to say Pela's not worth it, but I do see the value in Pela the same way that I could see it in Tingyun, especially with Acheron being on the team now. I don't think Pela is above Silver anymore, but I don't think Silver is below Pela. So they wherever one goes, the other goes. So if we're gonna like argue the fact that Silver is an S tier, by default Pela goes in S tier. If we're gonna argue the fact that Pela needs to be an A tier for whatever reason, by default, then I'll put Silver in A tier. And that doesn't really take away from either of their values. It's just that they don't do universally as much as Tingyun and Bronya or even Sparkle. And then Asta can go in A tier. That's cool. Hanya's in B tier. Yukong's in C tier. But I'm gonna keep it a bug. Yukong's probably in D tier. Like that. It just,
F, bro. I'm not gonna lie,
bro. I don't like that character at all. Like it's so clunky to work with her. Just to, I don't know, man. Like the only teams that I think work with her, like literally the Clara team. And that says a lot because I could just replace her.
I think that most of what has been said, at least the new
Wait,
things has been said. Yo, Rogue, what up?
I do have something to say though.
Insane.
Oh shit! No fucking.
I'm not gonna lie,
Oh,
right?
nigga, yeah, bro.
No disrespect to Smack. When he mentioned the video, like the Zero Cycle video, I'm not gonna lie, he was about to lose his turn, right? But the thing is, he used
Are you
an
exposing
S5
right now?
Are you
dance on
exposing
Asta.
his team? Are you exposing
Hey,
his
was it on
cycle?
MLC 11?
Holy,
Hey.
my trauma with this changes. Yo, okay, yo, Rogue, go.
Look, listen, he was about to lose his turn, but because he had an S5 dance on Asta,
Oh, so basically we
he
needed two S5 dance to make the team work.
yeah, basically.
Insane! Oh my, better get the
Oh
button
my
after
god!
me.
I don't think that's true. No way.
Wait. Is there a max for how many times a person could go a turn, or is it
Theoretically
just
3,
like
because 3 is 200 speed effective. So if you want to hit 4, it's like 270 or some shit. It's like impossible. So yeah.
What the? I never knew
How do you
that.
know
Wow.
this?
Let me just do a quick math.
How do you
Force,
know this? I've done the
40k
math.
divided by 140 or 150.
Pokke using his
You
light
need
cone.
267 speed basically. Because the first wave you have 150 action value, one action takes 10,000 meters or the distance. So you need, to add 4 times, you need 40,000. So divide 150, it's 267, which is basically impossible. So yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
I think
Nuclear
we do.
take Rogue. So Rogue just came here to start drama, essentially.
Rogue about to lose his draw.
What are you
Oh,
talking about?
It's
What
on
are you
after
talking
that
about,
one.
bro? Look, I just wanted to put in my put in my 2 quarters. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think
I'm
you're getting fired as the editor after this one.
Flip it and ship it.
Gacha is watching this as we speak. He's writing a message to Rogue.
Oh my god.
I don't
Dear
think
Rogue
anymore.
Killer.
Oh my god. Yeah, I think if there's going to be one OP tier, I'm just gonna call it the OP tier. It will be Runmei. I will drop Sparkle down to the same tier as Tingyun. Then I will drop Silver Wolf down to the same tier as Pela. Whether Bronya performs, I think it legitimately depends on what the player is using. For example, I think there's been a very big rise when it comes to follow-up comps, such as auto ratio. There's been a very big rise of DOT. And now that people are putting for Acheron, if you're not gonna be getting E2, it's very difficult to mix of Bronya, so it legit depends on your team. But I would say that as of this day and age, Bronya's value has fell off just because there are now more teams outside of the traditional hyper carries, such as your Scylla, your Blade, your Jingliu, and now there's a lot of team comps, so Bronya doesn't feel that impactful anymore. I would say that Tingyun, she is still very, very universal because every single DPS, aside from Acheron and Blade, will use Tingyun. So in terms of universal access, I think Tingyun is still up there. Silver Wolf and Pela, this discussion, I think
It's hard now.
yeah, okay, the thing with this AoE defense down, right, that Pela have, most of the time, they tend to be overkill. Because the situation we have in, for example, in Memory of Chaos, you have 2 elites. That is like the best scenario where you can make Pela shine because you make 2 elites die. For mobs, it doesn't matter whether Silver Wolf gets the debuff or not, because the mobs are gonna die anyway. You can see from Acheron, even though you see like billions of screenshots where Acheron do like insane damage, a lot of it is just overkill. Acheron actually is just complete overkill because the mobs are taking like the same amount of damage, right? So even if you don't have the debuffs on the mobs, Acheron is still gonna kill them anyways. And that's where I would say, personally, I think Silver Wolf, she is not worse than Pela in that sense because Silver Wolf technically has a higher debuff. She has more defense down, she has res down, and she has all sorts of different debuffs. As for Pela, when it comes to marking defense down, if you don't have an S5 resolution or even S1 resolution on Pela, it is quite difficult to mark debuffs with Pela. You have to have either have her E4 to have the ice res down, or you just use the ultimate. Her basic attack won't even apply defense down. I would say that they are both pretty much in the same tier. It really depends on the content you want to use. Hanya, I would honestly rank her as the lowest. I do believe that Yukong, she has more users. I'm speaking from a perspective where you really know how to use your Yukong properly. Like, I'm not just stepping onto, like, have you guys seen Yellow VV? He did a 0 cycle with Jingyun using pure 4 stars, Tingyun, Pela, and Yukong. If you know how to make use of the time your big damage numbers, which at this point is, I feel like it's what we're leaning towards, like Jingliu, big damage in 1 burst, Acheron, big damage in 1 burst, Imbibitor Lunae, even Daughter ratio to a certain extent, Jingyun. I feel like Yukong, you can use it, but it's just not as comfortable to you. But just because she's not as comfortable doesn't mean that she's just unusable. So I feel that in that sense, I would drop Hanya down, swap it up with Yukong, then I'll bring up Yukong. Asta, I personally don't think Asta is up there, especially with the rest of the supports. I don't think she's in the same tier as Pela and Silver Wolf. And the reason why, in my opinion, let's just use Gacha Smack's example, he did manage to get a 0 cycle. I wouldn't say it's because of Asta, I would just say it's because it's Pela, it's Kafka, Black Swan, and Runmei. And that 4th slot, it could have been Tingyun, it could have been Pela, it could have still gone on the 0 cycle. So that is my final thoughts on the support tier list.
Isn't part of the tier list though how easy it is to use them? So Yukong is like,
Yeah, ease of use is in there for sure.
yeah. So wouldn't Yukong's like rating just for that alone be like absolutely in the water?
I wouldn't. No, because you still have to like factor in what she's offering, right? If she's offering the burst damage that Pokke's talking about, then that would still be a factor. Because it's not like she doesn't give. It's like what 82% attack boost or some crap like that, and then 100% crit damage or whatever. Like she gives any DPS a lot. So I think that is fair to say. If you do play it correctly, you pilot it correctly, yeah, the burst damage would come in handy. I don't know. I could agree with it if maybe I saw the video that Pokke's talking about. But
just search yellow VV, Jingyun 0 cycle with all 4 stars. Is there? It's pretty good. Yeah.
Okay.
Should both be in the same tier, B tier. Yeah. And then that's my only disagreement there. Kafka, Black Swan should have moved up to S+ tier with Acheron's release. She is absolutely insane.
Okay,
Stop saying that.
Sorry. Before we say that, I just want to say, personally, I still don't really get the point of a specialist tier list. So that's just my take. I feel like a unit, you're either DPS, you're support, or you're sustain. So I personally don't really get this.
What is,
Yeah,
You want me to
can
explain it to you?
From the way I see it, it's just like an alternative comp. So like DOT. This way around is just basically DOT, and then like Topaz is like the only one supporting like follow-up attacks. So yeah.
So
Sorry, yeah.
specialist is ideally, let's remove Swan from this category real quick, and we'll put her in like amplifier or damage dealer because she's technically both. And I think that's why they have her in specialist. But basically, the reason that Kafka and Topaz are in the specialist here in particular is because of what they offer, not only for the damage aspect, but because they enable something that we currently don't, or at the time didn't have. Kafka enabling DOT teams. So like we had damage over time, but no one really took advantage of that and pushed that into its actual team comp. Like there wasn't really a DOT team, a team comp that was viable until Kafka touched the scene. Same thing with follow-up teams, right? A lot of follow-up teams, like with Ratio. Ratio is a character that has follow-up attacks. So that's fine, but you're not really building a follow-up team when you just put Ratio, Tingyun, I don't know, Bronya or some shit, or Sparkle, and then a sustain on the team. You're not really doing anything that pertains to follow-ups, just hyper carrying Ratio. When you take into account what Topaz brings to the table, not only does she boost herself and give herself her own damage boost, but then she also gives anyone that does follow-up attacks damage, and she works off of their follow-up attacks. So she does so much outside of just being a damage dealer or just being an amplifier, that this character alone specializes in opening the door or whatever the fuck it is that she wants to do, in this case being follow-up teams.
Okay,
Kafka works the same way.
Can I sum it up as you deal damage and you support?
So wait, someone said that it's a tier for people that need other people, and I think that's a fair way to see it.
People that need other people.
It's for units that need other units. Like if you're gonna run Kafka, you gotta have dot units with you.
Nah, but you
If
can't run
No,
as hyper
but
carry.
So a sub DPS that needs synergy. Is that what you're trying to think about?
No, I don't think that works.
I
Because
wouldn't say
Kafka, you
it's
can run
a
as hyper carry. You can run well as hyper
Yeah,
carry.
I think-
you can run Luca as hyper carry. So
Yeah.
that,
But
That's
I'm
what I
assuming
think, too. I
they're
don't-
looking at their most optimal role though. Like if they're gonna
Yeah, 'cause
look
I
at Kafka, you're not looking at hyper carry Kafka. You're looking
Yeah,
at
but she doesn't
dot
need the
Kafka.
others to do what she wants to do, which I think is kind of the point of like, not to say that you're wrong, but whoever said the thing that you just quoted, I think that's wrong. Like that's a really bad way of looking at what they're trying to establish with the
People that
specialist here.
need other people. Yeah, if that's the case, in Welt and my opinion, right? Welt and Kafka shouldn't be in this.
yeah,
And Shui E6 Shui too can be straight DPS too.
Yep,
I've
yep.
seen it.
Yep.
So that's so I don't think that's, I don't know. The category itself is kind of weird.
Like I understand it for the breaker category because yeah, they do damage, but they do damage a completely different way. And so that's why they would be there. But I don't know. I think specialists, so many characters in the specialist role maybe just don't need to be here. Like I think Shui could be fine because the breaker thing. I think Luca could be here. I think Will could be in this position. Topaz and Kafka could also be in this position. But the others most likely don't need to be here. Sampo, Knifin, Swan, IRMC, and something else.
Okay. Under specialist definition, characters that excel under specific conditions. That requires a different and divergent playstyle. Breakers can deal monstrous burst damage or crippling. Who the fuck is typing all this
Crippling
monstrous
crowd
burst
control.
damage?
Oh my god.
This comment is gonna send me back
let
to
them
the
use-
side.
Let them use their adjectives, man.
We're going back to the hospital with this one.
He's trying to make the word count for his essay, dude. Just let him be.
Holy shit!
Facts.
Alright, this guy's a race, man. Alright, interesting. Okay. Let's just hear Gacha Smack think about this. On the yep.
Her and Hanya should both have a role in terms of a value of a character as well. This should be her and Hanya should both.
Okay, I think
Black Swan should have
okay.
moved up to S+ tier with Acheron's release. She is absolutely insane with Acheron. This girl is literally best in slot on 2 different Acheron team compositions. Not to mention, I already told you she should be there because she's a specialist. Kafka can't be an S+ without Black Swan. I don't care what y'all say. You can't convince me otherwise. They already should have been up there, but now that Acheron's released, Black Swan should absolutely be in the S+ tier. Fuck your opinion. Yeah, look
God
at me.
damn, bro.
Fuck your
I thought we were
opinion.
boys.
Not
Yo,
Prydwen,
Smack,
to the guy
wait,
who
I
thinks
thought we
he's
were
going to try and
boys.
convince me that she
I
should
thought
be
we
in
were
there.
boys, man.
All right, moving on.
That's
Welt in the
crazy.
B tier again. Well, I give you the green light, brother. Drop it. Drop the black hole on the whole website. They will know your name. I'm in the middle of the story, and you big dicked Acheron so hard, bro. Like I can't believe this blasphemy that they're doing to you, bro. Don't worry, brother. I'll keep fighting the good fight for you. They'll listen. They'll listen one day. Hey, whoever's making this Welt decision, whoever's doing this slander, respectfully, go fuck yourself. All right, moving on. Fire Trailblazers should be A tier, and you should put a little mini picture of Acheron next to the Fire Trailblazers picture so that people understand the only reason Fire Trailblazer is A tier is because of Acheron. I still think Sushang shouldn't be in the C tier. That shit is wild. B tier, bare minimum.
All right.
Coming up over here, Acheron is.
Okay, wait.
Let's go. All right, yeah, go for it. Yep.
I definitely disagree very hardly on Smack with Kafka needing Black Swan to be S+.
Absolutely.
I'm not gonna lie.
Absolutely.
That is an Omega radioactive waste nuclear take for him to be saying.
I agree.
Like, I don't know in what world Kafka needed Swan because she was already pulling in numbers without her. Till we get another retrigger or a follow-up character that activates other people's follow-ups or something like that, I don't see anyone touching that specialist S+ tier besides Kafka. Like, she's the only one doing what she can do. There's no one else that touches it. And Gwenifin is still on B for what reason? What did she do? Why is she still B when Luca and Sampo are in A? I don't understand why they want to keep putting her there. I want to, just to be funny, but let's keep Welt in B, just to keep getting these comments. God,
that's crazy. Honestly,
oh my gosh.
No.
I
But
think
realistically,
Gwen is better than Sampo.
Okay, stop disrespecting my boy.
I'm not. I think she's better.
Main.
I can see why Gwenifin would be above Sampo because Sampo only gives damage increase for dot, while Gwenifin does it for everything.
Yeah, so like everyone benefits from Gwen. Only DOT benefits from Sampo, and the only people that use Sampo outside of that, you just need a win coverage. Like you need something to help you beat down the toughness meter with win. And you just happen to have Sampo there.
You didn't get Black Swan.
Oh yeah, and you didn't get Black Swan.
Oh my god.
Just pull better.
I don't agree with the specialist like tier list at all. But I mean, obviously outside of some of the things that I already talked about, but Smack has some. For once, I'm not the one with the hot takes here. Smack has some crazy takes for this specialist here, man.
Okay, I think Welt and Gwenifin should definitely be an A tier. Because if Luca and Sampo are A tier, I just don't understand why Gwenifin can't be A. So I agree with that. Sushang, I can kind of see in B tier. I don't think she's personally like that bad of a character, honestly. Like, she might get better in the future. Who knows? I personally really like her. I don't know. I think the problem, though, that Sushang faces is like, let's say hypothetically, you have some of the top tier damage dealers. It might be a little harder to justify Sushang sometimes. I don't know. I don't know if that's a little bit of a hot take, but I mean, I've built out my Sushang and it's just like harder to, like, let's say she's your main DPS. I feel like it's harder to like put her against another DPS when it comes to like the other tiers. Then again, she isn't specialist, so I personally think she's like B minimum. Fire Trailblazer, I can kind of see what he's saying with that. Okay, wait a minute. Maybe I actually agree with what he said now that I'm thinking about it.
Insane.
Maybe I co-sign because, okay, so genuine question. Do you guys feel like Swan should be S or S+?
Yes, S. Nobody goes to S+. No one will ever be.
Okay, so
the only way that I would see Swan going into S+ is if, for whatever reason, we moved her to the right for like the amplifier status, and then Pela gets bumped down. So like up. If Pela gets bumped into S tier, and we move Swan to the right, then Swan goes into S+ territory. Even though she's not on the same level as Mei, because Mei would just go into OP territory. But if she's put into that category as an amplifier / debuffer, she has to be above Pela. That would clear that, in its own right. But if in the specialist category, because she does do a lot more, but I don't think that Swan is the catalyst for like DOT or anything like she's not. Swan isn't the catalyst Kafka is, which is why Kafka has the specialist role, and that's fine. Swan needs to pick. And granted, this is kind of Starro's fault because they're making these hybrid ass characters that do 90 different things from every other path. So it's hard to just put them as like only a damage dealer, only a sustain, only an amplifier. I think when a character is multifaceted, they just throw them in specialists. That's how it feels. But
I don't know. I think you're kind of sleeping on Swan a little bit. Like,
no, we're not.
Wait, what part of what I said was sleeping?
Okay, I get it, but I don't know. Like,
what does Swan do that puts her on the same tier list as Kafka in the same category?
I guess if you think of the utility she has, like she has a defense drop, she has the Epiphany, which we've gone over. Like, let's say you do have Swan on an Acheron team, right? Then like you do that Epiphany thing where like you use Acheron's ult after like the enemy has like that in-between turn or whatever. Like that's pretty cool. Swan can definitely do her own fair share of damage. Like her her dots can hit like a truck. I don't know.
It
Maybe
sounds like you're just
I'm
moving her to the right tier or the right panel. Like you're moving her from specialist because you're naming all the things that make her a great debuffer while also blowing up the board. And another character that does that is Mei. He's a great amplifier, brings a lot to the table for the team universally, and also blows up the board. Like passively just does a bunch of damage because of her kit. Swan is the same way. So if you move Swan from specialist to the amplifier / debuffer panel, then we can talk about like her going in S+. But if she remains in the same category with Topaz and Kafka, I'm gonna treat her like, or I'm gonna look at her rather like a Topaz or a Kafka, and she shouldn't be in that category, fighting them in the same aspect of things. So right now in S tier, that's fine because she's right there next to Topaz. She doesn't excel over Topaz. She doesn't fall under Topaz, but she's not a catalyst to like, you can run DOT without Swan. You really shouldn't be running DOT without Kafka. If you don't have anything, then sure, right? Like that's the last resort.
To be fair though, I mean, like hypothetically, let's say you had Swan and Sampo, right? Like let's say you don't have Kafka. You could still literally get like a 2 or a 1 cycle. Like
that's
it's
exactly
still
what
a
I just
very
said.
strong combo. Yeah, no, but you're saying you shouldn't run dot without Kafka. I'm not saying like
right. Yeah, like if you have Kafka on your account and you have Swan, they're like peanut butter and jelly. That's fine. If you don't have Kafka, obviously you're going to use the second strongest DOT user in the game, being Swan. But ideally, you want Kafka on a DOT centralized team. Anyone that has Kafka on their account and then chooses, you know what, I don't want to play DOT with Kafka, I'm going to use Swan and Sampo and Gwenaifen instead. You're just playing an unoptimal or a subpar version of what the team could have been. Like no DOT player actively chooses to not have Kafka on the DOT team.
You know, fair enough. I don't know. It's weird because I do agree with like in the specialist tier, it's kind of hard. I feel like Swan is just like super versatile with her utility because it's like, I don't know, the defense drop in general, even though it's like a 20.8% or whatever, it's still pretty good. Like I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I feel like I'm just gonna repeat myself saying I don't know.
No, I get it.
In
any realm, it could be S+.
I can yap a little bit. First of all, I think there's no world that Black Swan is the same tier as Topaz. I think Topaz is genuinely just not in a good spot. The reason why is because ratio can function perfectly well without Topaz. Your DOT team is gonna suffer by quite a bit without Kafka or Black Swan. Your ratio, you run Tingyun, you run Pela, you run Rame, completely fine. Same thing for Clara, no Topaz, completely fine. Same thing for Jingliu, no Topaz, completely fine. I think Topaz is she hasn't found like a best in slot teammate yet. As of this moment, so I don't think Black Swan should be the same tier as Topaz. As to who should be in S+ tier, I feel like it really depends on like what this team versatility you're talking about. So for example, if you're going to be playing DOT, I do agree that Kafka has more future value than Black Swan. So for example, in the future, if they were to release another DOT unit, you're probably going to pair that, for example, 5-star fire DOT with Kafka. Because Black Swan, you can't do shit with like, it's like, DOT wise, I think Kafka is wrong. But when it comes to like a little bit more of like versatility, I think Swan does offer a lot more. For example, the defense down, the vulnerability. And now she also works with Acheron. At least better than Kafka working with Acheron, right? Although this is not a Acheron tier list, nor is this like a DOT tier list, but I guess they both have like uses. I would say that if you are a DOT main, you should prioritize focusing on Kafka. But if you're not a DOT main, if you want to pull on hyper carries, you're probably not thinking of pulling for Black Swan, right? You're probably thinking of pulling for Rame, you're thinking of pulling for Sparkle. Nobody thinking of playing hyper carry would think of pulling for Black Swan. But if you're pulling for DOT, you are thinking of Kafka. So that's how I would judge them. For the A tier, genuinely, I have no idea what how Shui does, so no comments. I will bring up Gwenaifen to the same tier as A. Welt. Okay, personally, I only use Welt as a hyper carry. I will never use him as a sub DPS. I won't use him as sustain. I only use him as a hyper carry. So as a hyper carry, I don't think Welt is in the same leagues as a lot of like our like S tier or even A tier, just because his bounce is just so annoying. Unless you have like a fully jacked out like from the power buff grows, then Welt just gonna clap anyways. So that's that. C tier, I genuinely don't think Sushang is all that. The only reason why Sushang can even do anything is because if there's enemies weak to physical, you can run Sushang and break the toughness bar. But we literally have Luca, which has vulnerability and has a bleed and can trigger bleed. So he basically does everything that Sushang does, but way better. So that's that. Like you're not gonna run.
I don't know about that one. Well, like I'm following you so far. I'm following you, but like that might be the two takes I don't agree with.
Will you run Sushang off element?
No,
you
that's
wouldn't.
not. So I'm not disagreeing with you on the
Ew.
physical part.
Yep.
I also don't run Luca off element. So
Yeah, but-
that's its own thing.
If they're both on the same, like if you can only run, you can only run one. Would you run Sushang or
Mhm.
Luca?
Depends. If the boss is like there's a sub elite boss that's physical, and then I guess the main boss is also weak to lightning, for instance, or something like that, I would run Sushang. Sushang breaks the shit out of bars in like a single combo. Whereas Luca, I need to do more.
For
Right?
physical,
So like
weak-
Luca, yeah, for physical weak enemies. And then if I
Right.
add Mei, it's definitely a 1 bar break. Skill, old skill, and then Sushang destroys the shit out of them. On top of the break effect that's happening with that, because physical and fire are like the strongest ones. Having Mei on the team just boost that the same way that you would boost a Luca doing the break, right? Now Luca can re-trigger his bleed, his basic attacks, and that shit is nasty. I love that. But as far as being able to just outright clap an enemy with Sushang immediately, I would rather Sushang.
Sorry, how do you clap enemies with Sushang again?
You smash their toughness meter. So I'm thinking of Sushang not as by herself. So the same way that I would pair Luca with a Kafka, his job is as a sub DPS is primarily to break down the enemy and apply bleed.
Yeah.
In Sushang's case, she can still apply bleed, it's just not as strong as a Luca, but she moves twice as fast as he does, sometimes faster. So not only can she break faster, which means she can bounce around between enemies when they're broken, she also gets free skill points, and Kafka can take advantage of that by constantly re-triggering something that the enemy doesn't have. They have the bleed stacked on top of them. Mei enhances her break effect to do more damage. Mei enhances her own damage in general. And then building a hybrid Sushang is a lot easier than people like to give credit for. So she can still hit her crits. It's not super hard. And she also boosts her own speed up to 150. Like if we're considering E6 Sushang, she boosts her own speed. So you don't need speed boots. Run attack boots, you still get your 25 to 3,500 attack. And she turns into a mini DPS basically with regular DPS stats. So I don't think she's like A or S tier or anything like that, but she's definitely not S tier. With Mei existing in the game, she can't be C tier. It's just that people, I guess maybe they're looking at Sushang as like, you have to play Sushang by herself, and she's not a by herself character. She can be hyper carried just like all the other characters that do damage, but Sushang works way better as a secondary form of doing damage and beating up the enemy so that your main DPS can take advantage of that. So like if let's say Sushang's faster than Kafka and she beats down the boss with Mei on the field, when the boss is clapped, there's no toughness meter on the boss before they even get to start. Like Yang Qing, if he was weak to physical, she claps it, there's no more Yang Qing toughness meter. Kafka gets all damage. There's no resistances. It's just pure unfiltered damage. Top of Mei doing whatever it is that she's doing with her ult, and then the enemy's just dead. On top of them triggering DOT across the board for anybody else who happens to get hit. Because they get delayed with Mei on the field, they still don't get their meter back. And now Sushang is just not using skill points, but using skills. And then Kafka's going 2 or 3 times during their turn anyway. So it really just comes down like how you're playing Sushang that I would consider being like a B or even an A tier. Because I personally, I still think Sushang's better than. No. Listen. I don't think Sampo should be where he is.
Wait, first
Oh
of all,
my
I don't know
god,
how we got.
King, my boy.
I don't
Because
know how
I'm telling
we got
either
from,
move
listen,
Sampo
listen.
down or move Sushang up. If she
I
goes
don't
in the B
see-
tier, that's fine. He needs to go in the B tier with her. But Sampo's not so amazing that he's above Sushang by 2 whole tiers. And the only thing he's good at is the DOT. Whereas she's good on the DOT team as well, or even other teams that don't focus on the DOT because of what she brings to the table. Why is Sampo in A tier, but Sushang is in C tier? Why is Guanifin in B tier and Sushang is in A tier? Sushang does the same thing that Shui Yi does. The difference is Shui Yi has colorless breaking. That's pretty much it.
Okay, I think there's a lot of fluff that is quite redundant. So let's just address the skill point thing, right? So Sushang doesn't use skill point when you use your skill on a witness broken enemy. My counterpoint is Luca can literally use a basic attack which triggers the bleed. So you outright deal way more damage than whatever Sushang is running. Another point, Sushang you can build as a hybrid hyper carry. You can run break and crit. But at the end of the day, hybrid break hyper carry, you just don't do much because you're like trying to do both at the same time. We don't really have a unit that makes use of both crit and break at the same time yet, theoretically. But for now, Sushang doesn't really fill this role. So that's also another thing. Sushang having 150 speed or Sushang breaking the enemy toughness bar faster, at the end of the day, it also doesn't contribute much because even if you break the toughness bar faster, at most you are probably just getting one earlier attack with Kafka. Let's just say, for example, compared to Luca. Whereas Luca, you maybe break 1 turn slower, but the amount of damage you deal is way higher. You have vulnerability, you have trigger bleed, and the amount of, you can just all in break effect on Luca, and his bleed will deal way more, on top of him being able to apply bleed by himself. So I think Sushang is just in a position where there's not a place for her to shine. If you want to go a traditional crit hyper carry, nobody will be playing Sushang. If you want to go a break to pair with DOT, nobody will be playing Sushang. And for that reason, I just don't really see Sushang going above C tier, because she doesn't fit. And somebody has to be in C tier, right? It can't everybody just be in B tier. So that's just my personal opinion. For the Sampo thing, I would say the reason why Sampo is up there. Okay, Gwen I think should be up there as well. But for Sampo, he's good at DOT. At least he's really, really good at it. Especially for players who straight up just don't have either Kafka or Black Swan. You can run Sampo with Black Swan because Sampo can trigger Black Swan's win share. And you can run Sampo with Kafka because Kafka can trigger Sampo's whatever. And Kafka's Sampo's DOT vulnerability. So since he excels at what he does, I can see him being at A tier alongside with Gwen Ivan. Xue Yi, a little bit sus. I kind of see Xue Yi the same way I see Sushang, whereas I don't really see a need to build a break / crit DPS.
Okay, I see where you're coming from on that for sure. I still don't agree on the Sushang, but I do understand what you're saying about Sampo.
Bruh.
No, I can't. Like I agree with the Luca. Like I'm not disagreeing with Luca at all, but I just don't think that Sushang is C tier worthy.
Who should be in C tier then? Who should be in C tier in your opinion?
Out of this, well, first of all, we got to clean up the specialist class, but there doesn't have to be a C tier. Like we don't have anyone in D tier, right? We only have the damage dealers in D tier. There's not a D tier amplifier or D tier sustain. We don't need one in C tier. If all of them are just good at what they do, or replaceable, if you will, it's totally fine for them to be in B tier. Like if Welton B tier and for whatever reason Gwen stayed in B tier, if Welton B tier, Shui Yi goes down to B tier, and Sushang gets bumped up to B tier, that's fine too. But Shui Yi being in A tier and Sushang being in C, and they both do, relatively speaking, the same job, what's the difference? Colorless breaking, I guess, but Sushang moves twice as fast.
You can drop Shui Yi down to B or even C. I mean, I personally don't use her, but I think that she was also very, very niche. I don't know why she's A as well. Yeah, but I do think that there should be a C tier. The reason why there's no D tier, I think just legit no one fucking uses Arlen. No one uses physical children, and no one uses ENJ at this point. So like, I think that is why there is a D tier. Like legit, just no one uses them. C tier, there might see some usage. I think there might be some usage with Sushang, some usage with Xue Yi, but definitely not as much as, for example, like the people in B and A. Having no C tier is a little bit wild because I would never think that Sushang is, for example, in the same tier as like even Welt. I don't think she's even close to what Welt can offer.
Okay. I can see what you're putting down there. So you just want them in C tier.
Yeah, I just want them in C tier because I think they are C tier. And I think this is quite interesting that the longest yap is not even about the others. It's about freaking
yeah,
Sushang.
fucking low tier characters.
Oh my god.
Low
So
tiers.
Okay, but I do want to kind of circle back a little bit to the big three because I think this is a bit, people are a little bit more interested. The Kafka, Black Swan, Topaz. I mentioned specifically, I don't think Topaz should be in the same tier as Black Swan.
I disagree with that.
Shouldn't be. The only thing that now is changing my mind slightly in keeping them in the same tier is when you said that Black Swan is like almost perfect with Kafka, but then Topaz doesn't need to be on anybody's team. That's honestly, when you look at it that way, I kind of see it, but like I'm thinking of Dr. Ratio and Topaz and how nasty they are together. But then when you bring up, you can literally just throw in the other supports and they'll do just as good with Dr. Ratio. Man, that actually like makes me want to put Topaz down compared to what Black Swan can do and the utility that she provides for the teams that she's on and how she's able to make use of all the stuff that she has. Realistically, for what's her name, Topaz, that she only buffs up follow attacks while Black Swan buffs up everything, where their defense dropping her with damage boost. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of see it dropping Topaz down.
I can see it too, and here's the thing though. This is an E0 Topaz. You have to think about that.
That is true.
Yeah, they're all E0 S1, right?
Yep.
E0 S1.
No. Is it Lycon or yes?
Yeah, no, they changed it. Yeah, they changed it. So it's like E0 S1.
Whoa, the change log. Holy moly.
If it's E0 S0, then yeah, she needs to be dropped.
How do we see again? I actually have no idea.
They didn't change it. These characters can't all be E0 S0. Sitting in like
do they
S
have
plus
signature
tier.
equipped with level 80 Lykon? Only
those available.
I mean,
oh yeah, no. That changes a lot of the tier list.
Okay, wait. that's like saying free to play can't get a signature icons, which is ridiculous. You can definitely get signature icons.
That is true. Though.
Yeah.
That is true.
Okay,
Okay, realistically,
free to play players. This is so. Dude, why can't I just say
Listen,
no limited light icons? Like this is just so. Okay, this is just okay, interesting.
okay, realistically, I'm not gonna lie. I might have to say that we push Topaz down, and then we throw everybody down the tier from where they're at.
Okay, I'm just gonna assume that this list doesn't include signature icons. So yep.
If that's the case, Topaz
if it
guaranteed. has
doesn't,
to be
yeah, I was
thrown
gonna
down.
say like if it doesn't include signatures, then yeah, sure, we would have to bump some of these characters down.
We'd have to bump.
No, actually,
the
I don't
whole
think it
special tier down.
Okay, it doesn't change a lot for like support and sustain. It will change a lot for the DPS. I would say.
Yeah, for your damage
yeah,
dealers.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay, before we move on, let's wrap up for the Topaz part. Yeah, you do you still agree that Topaz should go down?
Yeah, in
I
the
think,
event that she has her signature, then I would keep her in S tier. If we're looking at this as just like a kit level, I still think Topaz, she's not Kafka level, but she's like one step beneath it. Because even though you don't necessarily, it'd be different if you put Ratio and Topaz on a team and then she performs significantly worse than if you were to Powerpuff Girl him, right? Because like you're comparing her to the Powerpuff Girls, we're comparing her to the Powerpuff Girls, and they're just busted as shit. But if you do the same thing or similar results with Topaz Ratio on the team, and they're both performing their functions exactly how they want to perform them, then I don't think that makes it to where like she doesn't benefit the team or he doesn't value her as much or anything like that. Now we're just looking at it from a damage perspective. So if they're both 0 cycling or 1 cycling or 2 cycling, what are we comparing? Like just outright damage output? That doesn't change the function of the team. It just means that one has a higher damage output or performance than the other, but they're both still doing the same thing. And then you also have Clara down there and Himiko, who I don't agree with Himiko being there, but whatever. Both of them benefit tremendously from having Topaz on the team as well. And I guess, can we talk about that now? Because Aventure's here. Like
we can stay for Herta Himiko for the DPS, but yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that. But Topaz has her little niche that she fits into, where she benefits other characters, not only boosting her own damage, boosting their damage as well.
Okay, I think this niche, yes, she buffs up follow-up attacks and she also does damage herself. But this niche, there's no direct impact on the gameplay, you know? Because if you were to take out, okay, we know that Kafka Black Swan is the best in slot DOT. If you were to take out either Kafka or Black Swan, the performance go down by quite a substantial amount. But Ratio, let's just say Ratio, Topaz, Rame, Tingyun. If you were to take out Topaz and you slot in, like, for example, Pela, he's still gonna perform. So, and you can apply the same concept for Jingyuan. Jingyuan doesn't really need Topaz. Jingyuan can perform perfectly well with like Rame, Sparkle, Tingyun, whatever. Or you can apply the same principle for like all of the other follow-up attacks. It's like taking away Topaz, it doesn't change the bigger picture, even though Topaz itself does bring something. But it's like no one is really needing this.
But that's what I'm saying. Like we're putting her in the spot with like, or rather reversing her versus Powerpuff Girls.
Right.
Because you're essentially replacing the entire team or replacing her spot on the team with whatever the Powerpuff Girls are going to be in position for. They don't make Ratio do anything that he already wouldn't do. But with Topaz, you get what I'll consider or call like combos that they otherwise wouldn't have access to.
No, I just want to say, wouldn't you say that because she's so easily replaced by Powerpuff Girls, that's why her value should be lower? Because Black Swan, you technically can't replace it.
Say that. I was just gonna
I could
say that
replace
because
anybody
you
on
wouldn't
any
take Black Swan out. You wouldn't take.
I
Black
could
Swan
replace
out and
anybody on the
replace
roster with the Powerpuff Girls except like Acheron teams.
No. But
Like,
the thing he's saying, but the thing he's saying is like, if you go on a team, like say with Ratio, and you put in Topaz, and then you slot out Topaz for another support, and then you do the same thing with Kafka, and you take Black Swan, and you throw Black Swan out, you're gonna see a massive drop off with
in
Black
damage, but
Swan.
not cycle performance.
What,
We were 0 cycling with Kafka before Swan was around. That's what, like the cycle performance. If we're looking at it, you can't perform better than a 0 cycle. So at that point, you're just looking at the damage numbers. We can't negative.
We won't talk about
negative
like
cycle.
0 cycle itself, because 0 cycle is not just damage, it's about like action value, all that kind of stuff. But if we were to strictly speak about damage, taking away Black Swan and throwing aside any other supports, let's just say Sampo as a replacement, or Tingyun or Pela, it will perform worse with a DOT team compared to if you take away Topaz from Ratio and you slot in any of the Powerpuff Girls, because she's easily replaceable, and therefore I don't think she'll be in the same tier as Black Swan.
I'm not agreeing on that one.
do you really think follow-up attack damage boost is stronger than a regular defense drop in a damage boost?
I think the team performance overall as a team is stronger.
Okay, but by your logic, if we're saying 0 cycles, like you can't go below a 0 cycle, then why are we looking at cycles instead of the damage? If you can't,
I still wouldn't even like consider the damage to be something that represents the team itself. That's what I'm saying. Like as a team, they both do exactly what they want to do. Ratio enables Numby to go as many times as you can make that happen. Topaz enables Ratio's the ult follow-ups, which I understand that the other characters can do that just by doing the basic attack or whatever. But she also buffs him doing that because of Topaz kit itself. Same thing with Clara, same thing with Himiko, so on and so forth. So it's the way that I'm looking at it is way less about, I guess, like how they improve the damage itself, and more so like how these two characters work together and what do they do for one another. Clara benefit Topaz. How does she do that? Does Ratio benefit Topaz? How does he do that? Vice versa, whatever. Compared to anyone else in the game that doesn't really do that, right? Like in order for Numby to go often, you need follow-up attacks or it has to have the ult triggered. The only characters that do that outside of ult are follow-up attacking characters.
I feel like if you throw in a support like with Dr. Ratio, you would get the same amount of damage that Topaz
Who the fuck are
is
the
putting in.
Powerpuff Girls?
If you just slotted in someone like Pela, slotted in someone like Tingyun. Like if you're doing like 50k extra because Topaz is there with ult.
Let me play on my free to play E0 S0 Topaz, and then I'll be able to tell you that, because I have that exact setup on the account, but I don't have that on my main account. My main account definitely has a signature icon.
I think at the end of the day, it's just because Topaz, replacing Topaz with any of the other stuff, you don't get as big of a drop off compared to replacing Black Swan with any of the other stuff. It should inherently give Black Swan more value because Topaz is unable to provide as much value when it comes to whether she's replaced.
Okay.
Yeah. Like we're not denying that Dr. Ratio and Topaz is like a great team, but so what if Topaz is not there? But you can't say this same thing for Kafka and Black Swan. Because if you say Kafka and Black Swan is a great team, but if Black Swan is not there, we will know that it will perform worse compared to Ratio Topaz, and we take out Topaz.
Yeah. We can move on from it. We can no. You didn't convince me.
Okay.
We can move on from it.
Next list. Let's go into DPS chat. Let's go.
The best part is we haven't even got to the most nuclear takes, which is usually at the DPS, and we haven't even got to the goddamn DPS. So like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a 2-hour video actually.
Nuclear 10-hour movie.
Content is content. My last stream, insane content. All right, let's go.
B tier bare minimum. Coming up over here, Acheron is absolutely in a realm of her own.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay,
True.
guys, this is the first character where I'm just breaking 1 million damage, like no problem. It just makes no sense.
Yep.
She's not even just like broken in terms of damage dealing. She's broken for Simulated Universe. Like she's broken for the upgraded versions of Simulated Universe too. She's gonna be good for Pure Fiction. Although I'm talking out my ass, admittedly, because I haven't even played her in Pure Fiction, but I know she's gonna be, because her technique continues to give her a stack and activate as an AOE in every single wave. There's no way she's not good in Pure Fiction either. But you know what? I think she absolutely out DPSs every other DPS in the game. No doubt about it, on all levels. Well levels, budget levels, and free to play levels. With that said, she deserves a god tier spot for herself. 100%. And Bailu, Lunae, and Jingliu should remain an S+ tier by their lonesome. And I think this is fair. I think y'all have done a fantastic job evaluating these characters. I'll let y'all make it on Blade.
You in without signature.
But I do think my boy need to be up in the S tier, all right? All right.
Hell no.
Argenti against physical scenarios. I think he deserves to be in the S tier. But I did take a peek here, and y'all did say characters that focus on doing direct damage and can perform their role unhindered by the enemy type, enemy element, or team composition. And you know what? Argenti falls off hard as a motherfucker if he ain't fighting no physical units. So I do understand that, but that's also why I think Blade should be in the S tier, because Blade, I don't give a damn what elements Blade is going up against. Blade is he gonna find a way, bro. Bro's gonna find a way to make it happen.
I'm sorry.
Fair game. I still think y'all are sleeping on Himiko. I think she belongs in the S tier right next to Topaz. That team is a dynamic duo that's really strong. Other than that, pretty fair game here, guys. Moving on to Pure Fiction.
Okay. We can wait. All right, let's cook on this.
I love how
oh my god, we're the S+ tier. Let's go.
I love how he didn't go over the B to D tier.
Yeah. Okay. To be honest, C tier is. I think C tier onwards don't really need to discuss. We can cook a little bit on the B tier.
True.
Okay.
Right away, I agree with everything except for maybe that Blade take.
Oh no,
That's
that
really
Blade
bad.
take is mad nuclear, bro. Radioactive is what I'm saying. I'm like, holy crap.
After watching EO play his Blade for like on the MOC 12, I was like, oh my god. But then again, I mean, it depends, I guess, on your comp, but like, I don't know.
Yo, what up, man?
I thought Destiny was done. I was gonna ask for your opinions.
Look, I don't know what the fuck is going on right now. It's like a math lesson, but I will say one thing. This dude disrespected Argentini, and Argentini is fucking awesome. Alright, so Smack, you dumbass motherfucker, bro. Alright, there you go. I'm gonna go take a piss as well.
Oh my gosh.
Emmy, what are your takes on this?
Damn, I need to take a piss too, but I was gonna go right there. Okay. For the most part, I don't agree with that Blade take. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't have Blade, but like just seeing how he is right now, and based off this entire side here, I don't think he should be up on S tier. Sorry. QQ too. Okay, I love QQ. I absolutely love QQ. I used her. I built her. And you fuck you, bitch. I think QQ should not be S tier. Definitely not next to Zilla. There's no way. I use QQ. Okay, I use her. Like, don't get me wrong. I use her. I'm considering even with Sparkle, but if we're taking it here, like how we are classifying everyone else right now, where we're being like independent of their own unit, like without Topaz, you know what I mean? Topaz by herself, Ratio by themselves. QQ needs other people. And sadly, she's not S tier. I'm sorry. Acheron being above all else, as a non-meta free-to-play user that definitely doesn't have all three of these S plus units. I will also definitely not a meta user, absolutely not. But Acheron, I can definitely see from a mile away she is. From just like the little limited time I've been playing her, she is broken. Absolutely broken. I have no clue what they were cooking with her, but she is definitely above all of these guys. But yeah, other than that, I agree with Ho Jingwen though. Ooh, I don't know about that one. I'm not touching that. I'm not touching that one. I'm not touching that one. These guys will touch it. Yeah. EO and Pokke will touch on that. I ain't touching that guy. Okay, I don't want to be slandered, but I definitely do not think QQ should be there. She definitely needs to be at least B tier. I think Argenti should be A tier. Argenti A tier is fine. Blade is I don't know about that one there too. Blade right now I think should be B tier.
Oh really?
Blade should be like B plus, dude.
Okay, I don't know about B.
I think like he's high, but not that high based on everybody else right now. I think Argenti should be chill. He's good. I've seen Argenti shred even depending how you build him. I've seen him do really well too with Memory of Chaos. But I don't know. I really don't know about right now with Memory of Chaos. I don't remember because we did it 2 weeks ago. So I don't remember what enemies were there. So you guys do it all the time. You know, I'm a free to play noob. I don't know anything. I gotta pee though. You guys go get thanks. Bye.
I was gonna say I have a message from Sarah.
Nuclear takes. Absolute nuclear takes.
Dill Pickle should be down to S, right? Jingyuan, QQ, Serval, A, right? That was her only changes. Now discuss.
Okay, wild. Okay, so I think it's unanimous. We all agree. Acheron is in God tier by herself. No one can touch her. That's nothing that can be contested. For Don Hung and Jingliu, I'm not gonna lie. Me personally, I'm starting to see it, and I think I honestly don't know if I feel confident with this, but I think Don Hung should be thrown down to S. Realistically,
not even case
I think Jingliu
copium to put
and S plus
so
by herself would actually make a little bit of sense. And how much she provides to herself in her kit, and how easy it is for her to be used, and how absolutely insane her damage is for what she can provide with the not as many teammates as she needs. I think she's like absolutely crazy. I don't think Don Hung, although Don Hung is also crazy, he still has weaknesses at the end of the day. We cannot go past that. We need to still use units to fill up his holes, or to hyper speed characters on their builds to fill in those holes. And now that I'm seeing that compared to Jingliu, who's pretty much perfect in every way, shape, or form, he might have to be the only S plus in my honest opinion. But going into the more nuclear stuff, yeah, Ching Chui, why is she still here? I'm sorry, why is Ching Chui still in S?
Actual hater.
We need to throw her down. I'm being nice. I'm saying A. I wouldn't blink an eye though if she got thrown to B. But I'm trying to be nice. So so I'll put her down at A. I still don't like RNG being a part of your kit. It's fun. I can say that. It's fun. It's cool. But if you have RNG in your kit and you're telling me I can waste 10 skill points and not get her tile, bro, I don't know. That's just a little wild to me. And then same thing with you having to also proc her autarky. You got double hurdles to jump over. That's just not cool. The next thing, Blade wanting to be up in S. I'm sorry, Smack. That's a no. That's not my boy. He can't cook right now. He doesn't have the right characters. Maybe if they make some sustainer give taunt, if they make an HP buffer,
Sustainer
if they
give taunt. You
yeah,
already
they
got
do.
one though. That increased likelihood.
No. I'm talking about
Nah,
a 5-star.
taunt's like guaranteed, almost like you're supposed to hit this character.
Yeah, you're 100% guaranteed, not an increased chance. If anything, in regard to giving him more of what he needs for his kit, so HP buffer, sustainer with taunt, anything in that regards, he can maybe move up to S, possibly, depending on how busted that type of support would be. But right now, where he is, he's nowhere near putting the same amount of damage as these units above him. And for the things that make Blade good as being a tank and being able to use the utility of not wasting skill points and also keeping himself alive, stuff like that is already like common in a lot of the passes and a lot of the talents that we have for a lot of these characters. And all the stuff that makes Blade unique was cool back then, but not so unique now at this point. So although it's up to my boy to be in A, he's just gonna have to stay there for now. I can't put him anywhere higher. And with Jingliu, this man, yo, are we actually saying no signatures?
Yeah, no, fuck it. I couldn't have it for Topaz. That motherfucker doesn't get his either. Fuck him.
That homie,
say it.
That homie needs to be where Clara at. No cap. He needs to be an A. He needs to be dropped down.
So weird
no
that it's not
is
signature.
No
That's
signature is
so
insane.
strange.
But yo, someone else said in the chat though, sell it with no signature too.
So
No,
this
Sally
is
with cruising. Cruising is totally fine for her.
Okay, but still, I don't know Jingliu. I think if I'm gonna put down Don Hung for weaknesses, then Jingliu has to go down for the same thing. Like if I'm gonna I can't pick and choose. If I'm gonna say yes to one thing, I have to say yes to the other. So if I have to count in Don Hung's weaknesses that he does have, which no one can deny, using 3 skill points every time, that is a weakness. No matter if Sparkle's in the game, no matter if, because maybe people pull Don Hung and don't have Sparkle. So there's just a lot of things that go with that being a unique weakness to him, which can be avoided. But for Jingliu, I'm sorry if I need to pull 5 4-stars or 4 5-stars to make him perfect. That has to be a factor. And with that being said, I would have to drop him down to A as well. I think, to be honest, I'm not going to touch Sele because realistically, I've seen people do work with her to keep her there. So I'm going to just leave her alone there. I wanted her to be an A before, but seeing what people have done with her, I'll leave her S.
Yeah. Who else gone so far?
Everyone's
Wait,
gone.
has CEO gone yet? No?
No, I went to go B.
Radioactive take. All right, let's see.
Yeah, me and EO haven't gone.
Okay,
Acheron OP tier.
I think, to be frank, I think we're just gonna cut the pure fission part because honestly nobody gives a shit about. We're just gonna finish up this part. I think this will be a good enough video.
Okay.
Yeah, pure fission. Yeah, go for it.
Should EO go first? Should I go first?
You should definitely go first because EO is
All
going to
right.
take 3 hours.
I'm gonna be pretty short here. QQ, I think can stay in S personally. I'm a QQ enjoyer. I like gambling. Like it's just it's fun. He's fun.
This coming from the girl who gets 5 limit options.
Okay. She is strong. Let's be real here. She is strong. But Blade, I don't personally agree in S. Okay, first of all, can we get some justice? Can we get justice for Serval, please? Like, I don't think Serval is a B tier character. I think she should be a minimum A tier character. Personally.
Okay.
She could be B. She could be B, but Serval is like, I think she's pretty good. Now, I don't know. Like, okay, that could be a hot take. I think it really depends on your Serval's investment as well. But like, if you have a pretty decked out Serval, then like, I think she's great.
Sure, just never ever. All the people saying no right now, their Serval is literally level 1. They've literally not tried her. Have 100 energy out that literally comes back out in one turn because she kills every single thing.
Exactly.
I never believed in Serval until I actually built her. Chat just didn't even try her, so like you can just go for it. Yeah.
I need to ask one question. For this. Okay, if you're saying this about Serval, can you say that she's better than Jingliu?
Yep.
Personally, I like Serval a little more. I've never done like a MOC 12 like Jingliu versus Serval. I haven't done that. I think Pokke's literally done that.
Yep.
How do you even? Okay, yeah. So
first try.
I prefer Serval because Serval's low costing ult. Also, if in her kit I'm not mistaken, or with the Eidolons, she gets more energy when they're shocked, right? Something like that. Like she'll get more energy back.
Yes.
Yeah, so she gets her ult so fast, and she's just revving up her guitar nonstop. So I'm just exploding everybody. She's really good for a 4-star. Like, honestly, I feel like if someone wants a fun, strong 4-star character, she's definitely up there for me. I would say A tier first of all. Would I change anyone else? Acheron, God tier, I agree. Dill has his strengths. Jingliu has her strengths. Yeah, I don't know. I think like that's it. I don't really got many opinions left. Like, I just want justice first of all. That's it.
Okay.
All right,
So am I safe to go on now?
Yeah. Right. You stand clear from
Right.
the blast radius.
I'm gonna
Let's go.
I'm gonna say who I would move, and then if you guys have any like, oh my god, wow, then feel free to ask about it, so that I don't over explain what's going on.
Here we
All
go.
right. Cool.
Let's go. Here we
Acheron's
go.
OP tier, that's fine. Jingliu is the
Okay.
only character in S+. Dill Pickle goes down. The only characters in S tier, Ratio, Zila, Dill Pickle. Jingyun goes down to either A or B tier. Talking about no signature light cone Jingyun, Serval goes up, Jingyun goes down. Blade can stay in A tier, but personally, after playing with him for well over 3 weeks, like as a Blade main, he might be a B tier character. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Claire can stay in A tier.
Let's go.
I'm telling you, bro, Blade is not performing right now. Like his niche is just not it. Argenti's fine because of what is it? Today is another peaceful day or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Basically, mini version of his light cone, you just don't get the crit damage or something like that. It's fine where it is. Serval goes up not only because of everything that we just talked about, but she outperforms Jingyun, especially if we're even with his light cone. She steals his light cone and still outperforms him. That's dumb. Minus the RNG aspect to it, there's no CC issues that she has to deal with, and she gets her ult and skill collectively do the same, if not more. Actually, they do more damage. I've seen it. Pokke's done it already. They do more damage collectively than one Lightning Lord plus Jingyun's skill and ultimate in the same cycle. It's dumb. QQ goes down to A tier. Anything lower than that, because RNG is fine, but that's pretty much it. So yeah. Oh, and then Himiko gets bumped up. I still think Himiko is an A tier character.
Okay, other than your Blade and Himiko thing, I think I can the least radioactive EO take since your start of your channel. I'm not gonna lie.
Wow.
your least radioactive take. I'm not gonna lie.
shit.
These are all good. Finally.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yep.
ahead,
Acheron is in the
Pokke.
tier of herself. Jingliu, Ratio, Scylla can be together. The way I look at DPS tier list, I think I at least for myself personally, I like to look at it with a little bit of a different lens, because like your special, okay, I don't even use specialty, but like for like your supports and your sustain, they are very limited, and you can use a lot of supports, and there's a lot of different options for sustains. But for DPS, as with any gacha game, DPS are the most prone to getting power creep. And I'm not even talking about like what this tier list represents, like the fine print. I ain't gonna read all that, right? As a player, if I want to just look at the tier list at one glance, which DPS is good, it's just gonna tell me as a player which DPS I want to pull for in the future. So I want to look at DPS from the perspective of their relative performance compared to people that are in the same class. And for that reason, as of patch 2.1, I legit think Dill is lower than Ratio, because he can legit.
Let's go.
Now, I think Ratio legit can do everything that Dill does. And anything that Dill can't do, Ratio also can't do. So in this case, pure fission. Maybe Dill does a little bit more in pure fission, but irrelevant. They both ass at it, right? But like for a free unit to straight up do everything you do, if I was a player, I look at this, oh shit, Dill is better than Ratio. Shit, I don't have Dill. Should I even pull for Dill because it's better than Ratio? I wouldn't think of this way. Because if I play the game, I know for a fact if I have Ratio, I would not pull for Imbibitor today at all, at E0, S0. Just not a chance, right? So because of this, I will personally just leave Dill down in terms of like this kind of value for DPS. Same reason why I would drop Jingyun personally down all the way to like B, because you have Acheron. It's literally the strongest DPS of like modern history. Not even just lightning, it just does everything that Jingyun can do, but straight up better. She can legit just slap on, just steal Jingyun's style, so slap on the Acheron, and like you can just call it a day. It's just like every possible thing that Jingyun can do, Acheron just does it better. And because of that reason, similar to Imbibitor Lunae, I will drop Jingyun down. For Blade, I'll also look at this from the perspective. If I was a player thinking of building a DPS, would I bother putting for Blade? When we already have, when we already have like DPS that are doing like, cause like I mentioned just now at the earlier part of the stream, this is not recorded, but like Blade is like a top laner. He's like a Darius, he's like a Garen, right? We don't need a top laner in honkaistarrail. Every single DPS is pretty much like they're all like either like Zed or the Yasuos, right? You just want to make them do as much damage as humanly possible to defeat the enemy. There's no scenario where we need to make sure that our DPS needs to be tanky. There's just simply no content for this. And because of that, I think as a DPS, as a damage dealer, and if I look at should a player pull Blade based on the ranking cost, for example, if I were to place Blade at S tier, it means that he's in the same leagues as like Doctor Ratio, Sinai, and everything. I just don't think he's the case. So I personally would still leave Blade at probably where he is, if not drop down to P. Because if Jingliu is gonna be a B, maybe Blade can go down. So that's my Clara, same concept as Blade, because you know there's no need for a bruiser in this game as of this current moment. We just want to do as much damage as possible. For Argenti, I think that since Blade and Clara, they are gonna be either here or there. I think Argenti at least does that role better than Bruisers, because he's a straight damage dealer. You can use him to clear mobs, and nowadays we're seeing a lot of enemies in Memory of Chaos. Not even pure fusion. There's a lot of stages where you have like 5 enemies against Argenti.
Yeah.
The issue with Argenti is even though his ultimate is very slow, just slap on a Tingyun, boom, you're done. He's gonna get his ultimate very quickly as well. So for all those reasons, that will be my take. For Herta, Himeko, personally, especially in Memory of Chaos, I think they're fine at B, because even though they have like AoE, they can deal like fire, they're good. But like their individual multipliers to a specific single target is not good. Because Herta and Himeko, they cannot concentrate their AoE to one point. Like Jingyuan's Lightning Lord and Argenti's whatever can do, right? Or Acheron. So because of that, I think they are fine where there is. This Serval versus Jingyuan take, I will also apply this with a similar concept. If I have a 4-star that can literally do what a 5-star limited banner unit can do, I think that should not make Serval worse than Jingyuan. I think this is one of Sarah's takes as well. I think that Serval should be at least around the same tier as Jingyuan. For one reason being that you can literally get it for free. Yeah. Whereas Jingyuan, you need to pull. And we're not even talking about signature Lycon. There's no before dawn, there's nothing. And this distance is really at like a very similar pace, right? So yeah, that would be my rough take about everything. Okay.
May
I agree.
Go for it.
Add on one thing, sorry, along, because I forgot because I went to go out of the washroom. Himeko there, sorry, I don't agree with Himeko being on the same tier as Herta. Himeko, you can always re-proc her break, and she will just cycle. As long as you can break the enemies, she will always do her follow-up and do damage. So being on the same tier as Herta, I don't agree with that. I think Herta needs to drop down as well. I'm sorry. I think Himeko needs to go up if in that case, and I do agree with your Serval take, because I forgot about the B tiers. I didn't look at it, but but Serval needs to go up as well then in that case, because of but I ain't touching Jingliu though, okay? But that's all I wanted to say. I want to defend my girl Himeko. I'm defending my girl Himeko because I used her a lot, and she definitely can. She can't concentrate the damage, but you can definitely again manipulate it so that she can do more.
The only reason I wouldn't put Himeko in like mover anywhere is because I wouldn't say that if you're saying that Himeko needs to be above Herta, I'm not saying Herta's gonna be where Hook, Misha, and Downhung are. And if you're saying that Himiko's supposed to be up,
so then bump them down.
No, I mean bump them down so Himeko can be there, but then Herta down.
Yeah, I would bump Herta down because like in Memory of Chaos, there was this one stage like really early on that Herta really performed because there was like just so many eyes and you can just like spam the breaks with Herta. That was the one time Herta was good. Ever since then, it's just like not there. Yeah. So I can agree with Herta being bumped down for Memory of Chaos.
Yeah, sorry Herta. Excuse me. But that's it. That was all. Sorry.
She also agreed that Jingliu needs to be in B. I'm just saying all of that.
I am not. Oh my god! I'm not going there.
Just left on there.
Don't put me on that Reddit thread, please. I'm innocent.
Nah, you're already in it.
Oh my god!
Yeah, we're all already in it. What do you mean?
Everyone here is in it. Maybe except for Box 2 and Roku. Or at least if you guys want to be in, just say something about Jingliu as well. If you guys want to say Box 2 and Roku. Are you guys still here?
Oh, you don't know what I think?
Uh-oh.
Hold up.
What do you think, Mr. Box?
That was it. That's all he thought.
Yeah, that's it. I have no thoughts, man. Damn, bro.
Brain empty.
Yo, this is like school again, man. I didn't know meta was this serious, dude. I'll be honest with you. What's going on?
I just used 3 DPS.
It was like lecture, man. Dude, bro.
Just use 3 DPS, bro. You got it.
That's what I'm saying. Just keep on rocking
Easy
double
play.
sustain. I miss
Right.
double sustain, man. Can we just
Yeah,
go back to double
facts, I miss
sustain?
double
It's
sustain.
it's way
I
too
miss
serious
double
now.
sustain too.
Let's just use double sustain again.
Yo,
Come
when
on.
are we gonna get to the point? This is what I want. I need the MOC enemies to start hitting way too hard so we stop running zero sustain. I'm gonna not lie. We need to get
I
hit
would
way
also
harder.
like that, but like I don't know if I'm ready for that yet. Let me get my free to play account up first. You know what I'm saying, and then we can talk about that. Give me a patch.
I just need them to beat us down. I need to have a reason
Oh.
to use the sustains that I have.
Nah, you want to know what?
Would you
want them
guys
to
want a
beat us down.
3-team content like the third
No,
team?
okay. Okay, no, listen.
I don't think I
actually
want
heard you.
3-team content.
No. I actually listened to you when you said this on the stream a lot earlier. I think if we want to go the route, because you said you have a problem with us just spamming the same teams, no matter what, like on every
Mhm.
MOC. I think, not gonna lie, instead of 3 teams, because that is actually that would be the same
Are
investment
you,
for what I'm
you
about
talking
to
about your point
suggest.
system?
Yeah. I was gonna say we should adopt the thing that Wuthering Waves and PGR have with the units, that you can only use them a certain amount of times per stage. So like each period, say you only get 2 points for your team. So if you use Ruan Mei on one stage, it takes away a point. And now you use her on stage 9, so you can use her on stage 10 now. But now you can't use her on 11 and 12 because you already used up your points for the period. I think they
Interesting.
should do that so that they stop us from using the same teams, so that you have to build more characters.
Yeah, but the problem with that is you have to realize how many characters now you have to build. Like me personally,
Well,
I like running the same teams. I invested in these teams. Let me run
I'm
them.
sure they could. I'm sure they would be able to like mitigate it, right? So maybe it's not exactly as strict as Rihu's saying.
Yeah,
But I think
not like 100%.
fooling around
like,
with the idea wouldn't be bad either. Because if we
Yeah.
add a third, people that are saying like, "Oh man, I don't want to do that because I don't want to build any characters," or blah 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 blah, you still have to build it for a third team anyway. Especially when most of the players, like free to plays, by the way, they run double harmony, right? Like they were just bitching about not having nihility characters because of Acheron. So I know they don't have that. I'm telling you to build a third team. You barely have room for a second team that actually performs good. Now I'm telling you to build a third team for MOC 9, 10, 11, and 12. Don't have it. So regardless of like what option you choose, third team or point system, you still have to build more characters that aren't the same 6 or 8 that you've been comfortable using.
I think a point system would definitely make a lot of people mad, especially people who are free to play and spend. Because let's say you spent on your character, oh, you can use your new character only twice in this new MOC. I'm not gonna lie, I'd be kind of pissed. Like I would be pretty pissed. And if I'm a free to play in this case, then it's like, oh, all right, I ran out of characters.
just
I
grind
can't even
better.
play anymore. I can't even play.
Grind better.
Yeah, but what are you doing?
I think
Oh,
the
yeah,
three
let me-
team, the 3-team will be less restrictive than the point system because at least you can like use whatever.
Yeah,
third team you want.
I could
The
see
point
that.
system is kind of
Yeah.
like if you straight up penalize you can't use this anymore, that might be a little bit more restrictive than 3 teams. So, yeah.
Alright, so I'm expecting a riot when Wuthering Waves comes out because that's the system they're using.
For every content or like what's up?
Mm.
For their like their MOC version. Yeah,
have-
like
they
the
have
version of
point
MOC.
Okay.
They have a point system.
It might be different for them too, though, because of how the frequency of you getting characters on there. So that could be a complete different thing. As for this, so I do think 3 teams, hot take, but I do think 3 teams, a third team could be fine. I think having it as an additional, not like you getting anything substantial, like I don't know what we're getting, jades? We're getting jades for clearing. I think like just getting, I don't know, credits just for like the people to want to experiment and have that challenge. I think it's fine to like just give credits to them, or like maybe those balls that you guys need, right, to build. Maybe just give those every here and there for the people that want to challenge themselves. So a third team should be, I think it would be fine for a challenge because right now I do think that for the most part, most of us a year into the game should have built all of these. Like I'm looking at all these amplifiers, like I have all of these guys built already, all the way down to Yukong. I don't have I don't have Sparkle, but I have everybody else there and I built them all. So at this point in game, you should have invested in your Harmony characters enough to amplify at least like, your DPS units. So I think having a third team kind of gameplay would be better. I mean, like to spice it up a little,
I think it's
Yeah,
never
I hear
not
you
bad.
guys.
Like, in
Fine.
the future, like when things get dry, like 1 year, 2 years later, I think people will want a third team way more.
No,
Yeah.
I think they should do it. I don't think they should wait a year. If you wait a year, it's too late. They should
I think
definitely
they
do
should
that.
do
Like
it like less than 6 months.
2.3, 2. Yeah.
Nah, I don't
Thank you for
think
the subs.
I don't
Star.
think it's ever gonna
Okay,
happen,
Pokke,
yeah.
listen. Why do you have to clear MOC?
It's fun. It's fun.
No, I know it's fun,
Exactly.
but you don't have to clear it when it comes out.
Yep.
No one
it's
was
not
clearing
mandatory.
MOC 10 when the game came out.
Skill issue. Okay,
But
just kidding.
you get
No,
days.
Just pull E6, bro.
The thing is that you get days.
You need to ease people into it, right? Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So like, why don't they drop it like in 2-3 patches from now, 3 teams, and only make it 13 and 14?
Yeah. I just think
You know,
realistically,
actually,
Yeah, I
you
think
know what'd be really
so.
cool?
No, I agree with
You
that.
know,
yeah.
what's that mode that we just I don't remember the name of the mode, but a couple of events that we have that do it, and they were Pure Fiction was kind of based off these events, but there was like their bonus stages. So like you can clear, you know, like 3 out of 3 or something like that, and then
I know what
there's
you're
like a
talking
champion
about.
stage or whatever. Like we just had the event for it. You know what I'm talking about? Like I don't remember the name of that event.
The what's it called? It was the destructive mode or something like that. It was like the
Yeah.
hard
And
mode
so
version of that event.
yeah, there's a bonus stage. I think adding like the third team on that for that bonus stage. So if you clear it for the first 2 teams, right, you still get your rewards. That third one, the bonus one, that's purely like
Relic fragments.
yeah, like
Yeah,
that's
what I
a
mean.
flex. It's relic fragments, all kinds of
Yeah.
resources, because then that encourages you to be complete it so that I can build more characters. And then it also
Yeah.
doesn't make it so that like, oh man, if I can't complete number 3, I don't get my 50 J's for the month, you know, whatever. So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, make it an incentive for people that are, I guess, light spending whales and whatever you want to call it. I think it's better for that.
I
And then
would
the free to
say-
plays can't complain.
Yeah, it'll probably start drama though, not gonna lie. Because people will be like, oh my god, I can't access this.
where
'cause
the
I
hell
know-
is the drama?
What do you
Because
mean?
like-
Where's the
Okay,
drama?
okay, but
Yeah,
I was-
locking behind content. Oh my god, I'm a free to play. I can't clear this. Therefore, it's
When
like,
the
oh my god.
first MOC came out, when MOC
Okay.
10 came out for the first time, people were not clearing MOC 10 until maybe a month later.
Yep.
Like
Respectfully,
we
okay.
had that earlier.
Respectfully, if you're not clearing and you can't clear that with a third team at this point, right? It's fine. I get it, but you don't have to push for the stuff that, you know, the balls and stuff. You don't need it as a free to play player to make your account better. You don't need those extra relic fragments to make your account better. By the time you get those, though, then you can clear the third stage or the 3 teams, right? So I don't think you should be. Oh God, I'm gonna get canceled for this.
Yeah.
You
for
You,
it.
you want me to say it for you?
Yeah, go for it.
No, go-
Go for it.
No, let her
It'll-
say it. She has to
everyone
say it.
doesn't-
She has to say it. She has to
Amy,
say
say
it.
it,
She has
say
to
it, say it.
She has to say it.
Oh my gosh. It's just like I'm not gatekeeping it, but like honestly, you should be able to like have everything done by now. And then again, just push yourself to make your account better overall. Follow the guide makers. You see this chat? Follow these guide makers, follow all of these. Actually like pay attention to their content because that's what makes your account better, and stop sitting there whining about, oh, I can't clear because like I don't have meta units. There's no such thing as meta units. I'll be honest, everybody here on this tier list is perfectly usable.
Let them cook.
Everyone, you
True,
can perfectly use it to
100%.
use content.
Remember-
Even your Jingliu, we rip on him, but we can do it. Blades, you can do it too.
Nah, bro. What is this guide maker propaganda, bro?
You have 10 like,
Except for
clear.
Box, okay, Box,
no,
Box
no,
even
no,
cleared.
no.
You know what? Box even cleared Mach 12. Let's go. Okay, with 36
Okay,
arrow.
you're
okay?
ready?
Boss can do
Let's
it.
go.
Everyone
His
can
his
do it.
DPS Gepard.
Took me a goddamn
Exactly.
year, but it had to
Everybody
be.
can do it.
Yeah, there we go. So we can do it. So no crying, no whining about gatekeeping content, because really like we need that extra challenge to push yourself to like
Yeah,
actually
Amy,
enjoy
get
the
it,
game
bro.
more.
And
Okay, I'm gonna
we
get canceled
in the
by-
Yeah,
morning.
you're getting
Yes,
canceled.
sir.
Yeah,
Bye
you are getting
guys.
cancelled. Yeah,
Bye
you're getting
guys. I'm out.
cancelled.
I'm gonna Wuthering Waves. Peace. I'm gonna AFK journey. I'm gonna
Insane.
AFK journey. Bye.
Yo, you know what's crazy though? Something that people don't look at, and the only reason I looked at it because I was reviewing an account. You know, MOC 1 through 6 is 2 teams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you told me that earlier, but I didn't know that prior to you telling me.
Why is that a thing when newer players don't have enough teams to do that? At least 1 through 6. Wouldn't you want them to at least try the mode? They can't even do the
Yeah.
mode now. And we had one team through 1 through 6, all the way back then.
Oh,
Why did they scale 2 teams?
I didn't even notice that. That's insane. Yeah.
Exactly. I
Wait,
know
they
that's
changed it?
Yeah, no, because I was reviewing someone's account. They're like, when can I start doing MOC? And they were already levels 59. I was like, you should have been already clearing some stages. I look in it. I'm like, you only finished 1? What's happened? I look at MOC 1 and it's double teams. I'm like, whoa. Why are there
Oh.
two
I
teams?
never noticed it was single. I was like, oh wow, this is interesting.
So like, I found that crazy. I kind of want them to revert that because then that doesn't give a new player, like a chance to progress and see how far they can get.
Okay. Yo, Sarah saying MOC has always been 2. Forgotten how it's 1.
Forgotten Hall's the blue
that
stage
is
though,
not
right?
true.
Yeah, the blue
No,
and
that's
the
not
blue.
true.
Yeah, and then Memory
Oh.
of Chaos is the purple, so it still goes from 1 to well at this point 1 to 12.
Always been 2.
It wasn't always 2
Forgotten
teams.
Hall is 1.
MOC 10 from release date was not no 2 teams. There's no way.
No, MOC 10 was
There-
definitely 2 teams. 100% MOC
No,
10 was 2
MOC
teams.
10 yes,
Yeah.
but not 1 through 6 or 1
I don't
through
remember. I
8.
don't really remember MOC 1. I feel like
I don't remember MOC having 2 teams to go through for like 1 through 6.
okay.
I
Chat
don't
is always
remember
saying it was. So we could go.
It
fuck yourself.
was?
There's no way. I have to go look at my
I agree.
It was
So,
Rihu.
God damn.
Rihu.
Forgotten Hall.
Okay, wait, there's
I-
one very. All right, I'm just gonna go and search. I know Grimro did a MOC like really long ago.
Yeah, double sustain. Let's go.
Rihu's dimension is kicking in.
Okay, so basically by oldest, right? I'm just gonna.
But would he
way
have
the fuck
footage
down.
of like MOC 1 through like?
Yeah, he has footage of MOC 1. Yep, best end
Memory
game
of Chaos
teams.
1 through 5.
Yep.
Oh, there we
There's
go.
I think he
There's
was-
no way. There's no way. Oh
Yeah,
my! Wait,
I see
really?
it,
I just saw it. I just saw it.
Wait, I
Damn,
just
it is
saw
There's
dude.
no
Yeah.
way.
Pretty much any
My
foot.
Nuclear drama.
Your
Rihu.
guy
Thanks for
Really?
makers
Wow.
Your guy
No
makers
way.
status is gone.
Rihu
It's
is spreading
It's
misinformation.
over, man.
Hey.
It's over.
Damn.
Nuclear
I need a new-
misinformation.
I-
Oh my god.
Misinformation.
Okay, wait a minute. All of y'all just said I didn't know they changed it, so y'all were also saying
Well,
the
I
I said I
same
don't
thing.
know. I said I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah, for sure.
never knew
No,
this,
no,
I never-
I'll stand on that.
Now,
I'll
now
stand
they're
on that, bro.
changing
I got
it. They're changing it.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'll hold that. I'm gonna hold the L
Alright,
with you,
so
bro.
once again, EO is getting cancelled for the 20 billion.
Yo, I'm with-
Look at what
I
you've done to
need-
me, Rihu.
I need new troops to rally against me. Jingliu is S plus. I'm just letting y'all know that right now.
No shot. You're gonna
Who
pull.
is thinking a Forgotten Hall 1
Get the
dash to
genuine
blue
Reddit
stages?
memes on here after
That's
you.
crazy.
Yo,
man.
Jingliu is S plus.
Supporting you.
Best
Unbelievable.
character known to man. I need a
That's
new army
crazy.
now. I need a new army.
All right, Chat, I think we shall wrap up the episode. I don't
I
know
didn't
how long
realize-
this video
Nope.
is.
We did not finish Mac's video. Like we didn't
we're
actually
not
finish the whole video.
We're not.
Oh wait, you're right. I'm stupid. My bad.
No, we finished it. We
Forgot.
finished it because they were talking about the pure vision next. Yeah, I guess
Okay.
let's just have a one sentence summary from all the guests here. All right. So for Memory of Chaos tier list, right, what are your thoughts? All right, let's go.
Hua in S plus. Ruan by herself. Acheron by herself. Topaz down 1. QQ in
You said
A.
one sentence.
There's 5
Oh.
billion sentences.
Oh, I didn't know. Oh,
Just
shoot,
summarize,
I'm
just summarize the
I'm
whole
kinda
tier list.
started.
Just summarize
I'm
your
kinda
thoughts on the whole tier
started.
list. Yeah.
It's an A plus for me
An A plus tier
Overall.
list for you. Okay, cool.
overall.
Wow.
Yo, Anon, thank you for the gift sub. I appreciate that.
Oh no way.
Well, that was his
Yeah,
sentence.
thank you.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. I didn't even know it was my turn. Like I thought I was still doing like the whole last thing. You know.
Yeah.
Oh.
What do you mean? Okay, I'm going. I feel like this tier list was adequate at best. I don't think there were too many jarring things that I would disagree with and just like trash the tier list on. And the stuff that I would normally agree on is it's been that way for a little bit now. I think overall it might be time that I say we like I'm on Prydwen. I think it's time that they evolve the tier list a little bit more or at least make it a little bit more in depth so that certain things are placed where they are for that reason and it's fully explained as to why they're in that predicament, like the
Nice.
OP tier or something like that, and then trickling everybody down.
Nice run-on sentence.
Thank you. I use a lot of commas in that one.
I would change some things about the tier list. That's really it. But relatively speaking, I think it was decent. And A for Asta.
I'm neutral.
Neutral tier list.
I'm neutral.
Yo, Rogue, you got anything?
Hey, yo, meta this, meta that. Just run them all on one team. Boom.
Holy shit. Okay, Box.
Man, I think that they should just, it's whatever, man. Look, why are we fighting about this, huh? They're entitled to their own opinion. All right, this is a fine list, except for Luocha. You should get the fuck out of here. But yeah, I mean, come on, bro. You're asking me for my opinion on meta, bro. I don't fucking know shit, bro. I've been. All right. Never mind, bro. I've been trying to get my AFK journey shit done. I can't even focus, man.
Oh my god.
My God.
I am at least proud of you for
Hey,
having started it
Absolutely.
Oh no, I
absolutely.
did it. I literally didn't do anything. I said I tried.
Oh, okay.
What the fuck,
Okay, okay. All right. So that's all we have for today's content. If you want to engage any further discussions, leave down in the comments below or join the Discord at discord.gg/Pokke. We have a very active community talking about Honkai on a daily basis. If you want to follow any of these amazing content creators on Twitch and YouTube, feel free to follow them at Boxu, Destiny, Emi Master, Iyo, Rihu, as well as Rogue Killer. If you want to check out my stream, it's going to be twitch.tv/MrPokke as well on YouTube.com/MrPokke. I'll be streaming every single day. I won't be streaming for next week. Schedule will be out on Discord as well, right? So that's all I have for today. All the best in your gacha pools, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care. All right, bye.
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 Yo, you're actually gonna upload this?
Yeah, dude. What do you mean?
Watch me. He doesn't waste all that time. You better upload it.
I need to understand. I need to understand how to talk that fast. Oh my gosh.
Just
You gotta
imagine
title
if
this
you're
podcast.
imagine you're watching that on 2 times stream, you watch at the end.
Oh my
You
god.
watch that video, just hear how it is.
I will be streaming next week. I'll show you how to